Alrighty, hey everyone, hope you guys are all having a wonderful day out there today. Bitcoin, of course, is making another big push. We're still down negative for the day, about 400, 500 points here, but still, we're making a push back up here after that drop we saw last night, and everybody is very excited about that. So today I'm a little bit more organized. I got some fun stuff to talk to you guys about later on during the stream. But first of all, we're going to be starting off with Bitcoin technical analysis, then going over to some altcoins here, talking about what is pumping and what is not. Because actually today, there's actually been some really cool things like comp. Comp has been one of those big movers where if you guys like to day trade, has great liquidity. So you might be able to try one of these day trading strategies on it as well. Now, today's stream is sponsored by a bunch of exchanges. So if you guys are looking for an exchange that has lower fees than the one you currently have, check out the links I have down below. After the technical analysis, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to crypto news and then go over to world news. World news being more like LA and stuff like that. And then we're going to go straight into live trading. And basically, if you guys have any questions after I've opened up a trade, we can kind of hop in there and see how it goes. I've added a few things to the stream and I'm seeing how they look. I'm not entirely sure if I like them just yet because I'm not able to stand up until my plantar fasciitis is gone. But you're seeing the pieces of a new stream being formed here, especially since I'm going to try to go live every day at 4 o'clock, at least Sunday through Thursdays, right? Fridays maybe in the early afternoon, Saturdays maybe the early afternoon, but I need to have my fun time and whatnot out there in the real world. So that's kind of the goal for today. So hey Delilah, Crypto Cruise, happy to see you guys right there. 100x short on Ethereum, let's go. Ethereum is having, we'll talk about Ethereum in a second here, but Ethereum is doing something really interesting here, and it usually plays around at this spot. So first of all, let's go over Bitcoin technical analysis. I got to get used to all this stuff, guys, so bear with me here. It's going to take a few seconds at a few days at the least. Excuse me. Oh yeah, and here's Loki looking for a treat. He's covered in dirt because he's been jumping outside all day and getting me all dirty. All right, so I want to back up for a second and just remind some of you guys that Bitcoin is still breaking out above this Fibonacci level. We weren't able to break out back over here in December. In January, we got very, very close, but as you guys recall, we had Jerome Powell come out and say, hey, there's no more rate cuts, and you just see what exactly happened during all that. We kind of just died back down, and then tariffs kind of finished us off here. And once the tariffs were kind of backed off upon, if you will, we saw that Bitcoin started to roar and roar back with a vengeance here. Now, if I were to zoom in just a little bit more, you can see last month we did have a confirmation breakout. This month we are still pushing up higher, and I'm hoping that this higher move can take us to all-time highs. And you guys know me, maybe somewhere between 120,000 to 125,000. If we're lucky, 130,000 bucks, and then we might have something more of a slight pullback. But there's a lot of different ways to think about this. The next big level of resistance is obviously around 172,000. So if you guys do want to hold on for a while, that's still a good level, I would say, for most of you. The reason that I like this one so far, and I've been keeping this on the chart, because this has been the most reliable one so far. Resistance, 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 and maybe resistance up at $176,000. That's something that I want to focus on as well. The other one here, before we dive into a little bit more of the short-term stuff, is the shorter terms. You can see a little bit of resistance right over here around 127,000, and another one up here around $166,000. If I were to go off of this, I'd probably say we are going to most likely have a hiccup over here. I don't know if it'll be crazy, but again, I think it's just going to be an opportunity to scale out if anything else. You can see it actually worked out okay over here with this one as it bounced off, but it seems these clusters are a little bit more reliable. If I go over here to the daily chart and show you guys when we hit it back in the day, right? There was a little bit of support, but nothing too crazy. In fact, where is that one? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong part. Oh, there it is, yeah. You can see it stopped us for about a day, 2 days, third day broke out, a little bit of volatility, but we did manage to break out here, and then we actually got topped off right there, all right? So it does matter. It can maybe just be a slowdown, like I said, but if we're lucky, the continuation should bring us up to that $170,000 mark. I don't want to be that optimistic for Bitcoin. I feel like if I'm that optimistic, it's not going to hit, and I'm going to lose money by holding on for too long in that in that position. You guys may think otherwise, but I just want to take it very, very, very carefully here. So I got my Apple Watch on and I forgot to do all this freaking turning off the notifications. So all it does is keep on bzz, 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 bzz. All right. Now, as far as the shorter time frames are concerned, we've already talked about this, but we do have everything still being bullish. RSI is creeping up, stochastic is still creeping up a little bit here, and then we have the MACD still getting better and better week after week. We did have a little bit of a lag last week, but I think that's okay because we managed to bounce up. Really, that was just some tariff talk that kind of got backed off again, right? I believe there's even some news about Mexico and America coming out with a new deal pretty soon, which could be pretty good for us. Now, as far as what's happening on the shorter time frames, guys, with the daily, we're cooling off after a really good day yesterday. On the weekly charts here, we've already managed to get above all the moving averages, so we don't really have to worry about anything as far as that's concerned. But 4-hour chart here, we are cooling off a little bit, and those cool offs aren't necessarily like crazy things, but you can see we typically do have a little bit of a drop. Even if it does go back higher, we do have a drop around some of those negative times, so just keep an eye on that one. If we do start to show a little bit too much weakness, you may see an opportunity to buy a dip here for a higher low before we eventually have that larger breakout. That's kind of my plan for right now. I'd love to see one last dip. You can see the MACD is pretty high, stochastic is already high, RSI is already pretty high as well. I want to see us tilt over a little bit, take a little bit more of a breather, and then see what happens next. Now, that being said, we've come close to having a crossover before, and it just started to boost out of nowhere here. And again, that was during market open. We might have something similar here. Just keep that in mind. And that's why I still think dollar cost averaging is your best bet. But if you are looking for a dip, you might be able to have one sometime tomorrow or the next day. And then I would say it's not going to be so much of a dollar cost average, maybe like whatever you dollar cost average times 2. That way you guys have a little more of a foothold in there. Or if you guys already have dollar cost averages done, I would just add another dollar cost average during that dip. Smaller time frames and everything like that, still looking okay. We are seeing a little bit of resistance over here around 110,500 though, and that's a little bit of an annoyance. Nothing too crazy, but you can just see this is this general zone where we're gonna have issues. So if you guys are going long, just be a little bit more careful about it. I think there's gonna be a big push and pull over the next few days, and this is gonna mean we're gonna have some really big moves with Bitcoin. Regardless if it's down or up, it is gonna be a pretty volatile move, I'm pretty sure, because despite the 4-hour chart coming down here bit by bit, again, it's not too crazy yet, right? The daily chart is about to turn bullish here, especially tomorrow. We have an opportunity to really get that flip, and then from there, of course, we hit all-time highs. Everybody's very excited. We see a move that takes on maybe a few more days and stuff like that, which is okay. And one of the things I was going back when I was looking at Bitcoin's price action over the past few months is, you know, we've talked about this, but sometimes I forget that we talked about it. You can see some of my cinnamon coffee because I'm fasting, yeah. Ooh, one of the things I remember is Bitcoin doesn't rally for extended periods of time like this too often. It normally has to have a cool off day, 1 or 2, and then it continues to keep on going. This rally was 3 days with one big day right there. You can even call this 5 days, but it still had the rejection day, if you will. This one only really lasted 3 days before it stalled. This one only lasted 2 days before it stalled. Maybe 3 days, 4 days before it really stalled, but you can still see there was that dip there. And again, only a couple of days is how long these Bitcoin rallies really last before we start to see a little bit more of a consolidation and some breathing, because institutional money is pulling out during that time. Even over here, we had what, 1, 2, 3, 4 days before it stalled, then went up and then got crashed back down. I'm thinking the same thing is probably going to happen now if we think that the daily chart is bullish, right? So I think we might finish off today with a little bit more of a dip, and then going into tomorrow we might have a little bit more of a jolt, which could be very, very exciting for all of us here. So short term, a little bit more bearish, that's fine by me. And then I want to see tomorrow morning if we can have a big jolt up that would take Bitcoin to all-time highs and really stop this death cross from happening. Again, these death crosses don't necessarily mean too much. You can see last time we had a dip before going higher, right, making all-time highs right afterwards. Over here, then it kind of mattered a little bit more. But we are getting closer and closer, but it won't happen until maybe mid, like the 20th or something like that, at the earliest, something like that. So I'm not too worried. On the smaller time frames, which we're going to be trading, you can see we attempted to have a breakout, but this is so choppy. This has not been a pretty experience for anybody, and this order block is still being a very big pain. We managed to break out of this order block right here, which was nice, but again, if you're scalping right now, this is going to be a more difficult time to do so. That being said, go over here to the 5-minute chart. I will still say this. It looks like the US time is still a nice time to get in. Change your character right there, 9:50 a.m. and during US time still went up. Even during London time, we had a big move right there. New York time over here, change of character right there and right there. Proceeded to go down, nice bit of profit right there. And this was, I guess, was Sunday, so it doesn't matter as much. But you can see the first break of structure after market open. It did work out a little bit here. And you can see the overall trend was green through that entire time. So early market hours seem to be doing the best. London time is kind of iffy, but you know, London time starts around what, 1 o'clock Pacific time, so that's like what, 4 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know how many of us are actually going to be up during that time, but if you want to, maybe you can see a little bit there. I'd rather just wake up early in the US time zones and just try to trade that market open if you guys can. Now as far as the rest of the market is concerned right now, guys, this is pretty interesting. I would say this is pretty interesting. You're seeing a lot more green across the screen, and there's two patches I want you guys to check out. First of all, let me go over here. There we go. Bitcoin's back to being green from year to date, 90, 60, 37. There's not really much that's doing that. Tron, I've been hyping up Tron for a long time. Hyper liquid, if you will. Bitcoin Cash is barely there. All right. There's not many there. Maybe I'd say OKB is almost there, just like BitGet token, and that's because they're both exchange tokens here. You know, those Sky right here up 43% year to date. These are some of those gems that I think I need to be adding more into my bags here. So I might have to add some of these into my my watch list, if you will. But again, there's only so many of them. I would even say Quant is one of them here, even though the last 24 hours have been great. There's still a few, right? Injective is still down year to date. Fart coin of all things. Fart coin could be the meme coin of the cycle here, especially because it is already over $1 billion market cap. Not many of them. Tether Gold, again, that's gold, so that's a little bit different type of thing. But again, there are some tokens working out. Some of the ones that we've been talking about is buying the dips. Since we started made this list maybe about a week ago, I mean, they're up like 3%, 1%, 7%, 14%, 13%. They're doing okay. You got some like Trump that are down 6%, Monera's down 2.5%, Kronos is down 3%, SPX is up 39%. So more likely than not, you've made some money off of this if you just chose some random ones. The other one, however, when it comes to altcoins, 2025 bangers, these are the high risk tokens. Still very risky over the last 30 days. You can see there's a lot of money moving back and forth. I'm at a loss with these positions right now, but I think I'm down about 300 bucks in total with no leverage, just having some spot. I think I have like $5,000-$6,000 invested in this. I actually had ChatGPT do the math for me because I didn't want to do the math myself. Because for whatever reason, a lot of exchanges just don't tell you your profit and loss all in one place per token. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. And I can show this to you guys here. And maybe I can zoom in just a tad. I don't know if I like this little thing up here. Jesus, that thing, the green thing. I'm working on it. I feel like it just needs to be different. But my deep bit protocol, and again, this is basically just following this list right here for the most part. There are a few things I just bought today because I was able to. Oh, now it's on an exchange. Now I can buy it, if that makes sense. My deep pool, I'm losing about 50 bucks on that trade, or about 7%. I have about $650 invested in that one, so not crazy, right? Move, I'm down 7%, another 50 bucks. Turbo, I'm down 12%, or about $63. Barra Chain, I'm down 12%, or about $60. Toshi, I'm down about 10%, or $60. Giga Chad, I'm up around 5%, or $25. Alchemy Pay, I'm down 7%, excuse me, that's $27 loss. Launch Coin, I'm up 1.65%, which is up around $11. ID token is down about 27 bucks. And Ali I just bought today, Layer I just bought today, and AI Tech I just bought today here, so nothing really crazy, but I've invested around $6,200 and I've lost about $316 in my portfolio. So this is what I'm buying. If you guys bought now, you'd still be in a better position than me because I'm at a loss right now. But these are some of the trades I'm taking with no leverage, just seeing where they go over the next few months. These are definitely longer term trades. I'm hoping that I hold these throughout the Bitcoin dominance rise where we see there you go. Bitcoin probably peak up here towards 66%. From there, those tokens will absolutely have great rises. The only thing is I'm dollar cost averaging into those tokens, so that means the averages are going to change over time, but you'll be able to still see if I make money or lose money off of these trades. And obviously I am losing a few $100 right now, which isn't terrible if you ask me, but it could be a lot worse. That's the way my brain is kind of thinking about this right now. As far as the rest of the market, Dow Jones was fine today. Let me go over here to the daily chart, right? Creeping up a little bit here, looking for a breakout to go up. NASDAQ right now, looking for a breakout to go up higher. Same with the SPY. It seems like everything still wants to move higher. In fact, SPY already had that breakout a few days ago. Now it's going higher right now. I think Bitcoin can like join that craze and then try to go to all-time highs as well. That's one of the reasons why I've been going long here so much over the past few days with you guys. I wanted to focus on two tokens for today. Arbitrum breaking out above multiple moving averages. We've talked about this. Remember it. Moving averages are your favorite friend. And over here also on the 20-week moving average, we also have a pump coming up there right now. The other one I want to talk to you guys about today is comp, moving average, moving average, moving average. And lastly, before we start moving on to some other stuff, Ethereum. We talked about this yesterday. I told you guys that Ethereum had a good opportunity to pop because it was up against that moving average, and it has been trying for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 4 weeks. Basically a month of doing nothing here. On the daily, it already broke out above these moving averages yesterday. I know we talked about it, but now we're having a breakout on top of that, which could be very interesting. I don't know if this is going to continue here, but excuse me, the cinnamon coffee has me sneezing and allergies. We're almost bullish as far as the MACD is concerned. Everything else is bullish here. The weekly chart, it's already been bullish here so for the last few days. So if you guys bought, just like with Bitcoin, you should be up higher if you guys bought on that buy signal. Only if you guys bought on that buy signal right there. I don't know. I'm hoping that Ethereum, because you can see that level of resistance right here, I'm hoping we can actually just start surging back up here towards 3,500 bucks, and that'd be a quick in and out for a lot of people, and that'd be an extra what, like 700 bucks more it is now. I think that's definitely possible right now, so I'm watching closely, just hoping we can have some good news to kind of kickstart this rally. Now, speaking of news, we did have something happen. Say yesterday was freaking horrible for news, but we had something, and this something I think was good. I think it was good. So the House Agriculture Committee advances the crypto market structure bill. Don't ask me why it's the agriculture bill, the agriculture committee, but let me read this to you guys very fast. It's very, very short and simple. Lawmakers on the U.S. House Agricultural Committee voted in favor of the Digital Asset Market Clarity, or Clarity Act, advancing the bill further in Congress. In a 47-6 vote, that's a big landslide, an overwhelming majority of lawmakers on the committee approved the Clarity Act to establish regulatory framework for digital assets. Committee Chair G.T. Thompson said the bill would be sent to the House for consideration, adding that any members offering opposing views would have the opportunity to submit them by Friday. The vote came alongside the debate on the House Financial Services Committee discussing an amendment that could add protections for blockchain developers to the Clarity Act. At the time of the publication, the committee has not voted on the bill, right? Great news for us. This thing is slowly, and I mean slowly, chugging along right now, which is definitely going to be a very big thing. And yes, CPI data tomorrow is going to be a big opportunity for us. I'm really hoping it's good news. Last month was fantastic. The month before that was fantastic. Maybe it'll be a little bit better. But that's probably going to be the big thing. We'll probably pull that up in a second here. Actually, good call, Haram. Now, other thing here I wanted to talk to you guys about. This was just something that was just could be good for us. It seems like more and more governments are trying to do more quantitative easing. Last month we had China doing that, and that gave Bitcoin obviously a massive boost when that happened. But now we have the Bank of Japan pivoting to see if they want to do some quantitative easing as well. Again, Japan is a small country but a massive economy. If they start to do quantitative easing again, that could be another catalyst that gets Bitcoin going. So everything is lining up for Bitcoin to have a really nice move right now, and I'm just hoping that we can continue to go higher and higher and higher. But man, it's going to be a little bit of a trip here. Let me go over here. Let's see. There we go. Sorry about that. So again, we do have some good stuff here. I'm just hoping that we don't have anything bad slip up. Now, as far as the CPI report is concerned, I can go over to CPI inflation for trading economics. I typed it in correctly, but that's fine. There you go. And that's not going to be, it must be the one before that, inflation rate. Yeah, there we go. So, if you guys remember, we had 2.3% last month. That's despite all the tariffs, all the people yelling about how tariffs are going to make inflation skyrocket for the month of April. It did not skyrocket. That was absolutely fantastic for us. Now, we're at the lowest level since February of 2021. So it's been a long time since inflation has been this low. They keep on saying the target is 2%, but they're probably going to change it to not just be about the regular inflation. They're going to have be core inflation and things like that. So the expectations for tomorrow are 2.5%. That's the consensus and the trading economics forecast. They have both been hot for the past few months. In April, right? The forecast was 2.6% consensus. The actual was 2.4. Consensus last month was 2.4. It was 2.3. This month it was the consensus is 2.5. Maybe it'll be something around 2.3 to 2.4. If it is better than expected, again, that is the catalyst that we are looking for right now. Now, as far as core inflation, go over here. There we go. You can see this has been going down a little bit higher at 2.8%. But again, we haven't been this low again since March of 2021. Not since February. It's just 1 month later. Things are still working in our favor, and we're still heading down despite all of that stuff about, oh my God, inflation is going to skyrocket. There's nothing we can do about it. It's all over now type of stuff. We're okay right now. We have the privilege of being hopeful. The privilege of being hopeful. Now, one thing here, guys. Just like the CPI, the core CPI has been a little bit more rocky. So the consensus back over here in March was 3%. It was actually 2.8. Last month it was right on the dot at 2.8 when the consensus was 2.8. This month the consensus is 2.9. Maybe it'll be 2.8 or 2.9. I'm hoping that we have the ability to be at 2.8 because of this, along with the CPI being better than expected. That's where you really start to see Bitcoin have a boom. And you really start to see on all those heat maps, all those liquidity traps and things like that, you see all those get blown out of the water. You see some of those larger shorts really get slammed back down, and an opportunity for a lot of people to make money, especially as everybody is seeing different breakouts. Like Bitcoin's having a small breakout right now. Ethereum is having a small breakout right now. And things should go well for us. Again, tomorrow, tonight we still may be a little bit more choppy here. But things are working in our favor, I would say, as of now. One little tidbit here, and I don't know if you guys saw this today. This is from Benjamin Cohen's X account here. And he said historically the Bitcoin market cycle top is when the 200 moving average crosses above the prior all-time high. And again, it could be a few weeks ahead or behind on this thing, but you can see right here. Peaked right there, peaked right there, peaked right there. We still have a while before we peak. We still have a while. But this is just one of those patterns that somebody like me who has ADHD, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, maybe I should scale out of some of my Bitcoin on this next rally here. So if Bitcoin starts pushing 120,000, 130,000 bucks, I think what I'll do, since I'm already 30% out of my Bitcoin, what I'll do is probably sell another 20% at $120,000 to $130,000. Somewhere in there, I'll sell another 20% of my Bitcoin holdings from way back over here, back when Bitcoin was burning and crashing. And I'll just kind of hold the cash for a little bit and decide what to do with it later. But I want to make sure I'm able to really lock in some of those long-term profits, because altcoins haven't performed well, obviously, for the long term, but Bitcoin, Ethereum is done okay, Solana's done okay, Tron's done okay. Those things have still worked out pretty well. Even my, BitGate have still worked out okay here. But the way I'm looking at this, of course, is I just want to make sure I'm not holding too long and stuck with some type of bag. Although it may be kind of hard to have a bag of Bitcoin when it's at 22,000, but you could think about that affecting altcoins as well, which could be a very much a difficult thing. Now, I do have this I want to watch. This is 20 minutes long, so we're not going to watch all of it very fast. But after this, we'll go move over to some other general news here. But this is Michael Saylor on Bloomberg today, which I thought was pretty interesting. I'm going to have to turn off the music, actually. That's one thing I want to turn off here and then play this for us. Hopefully YouTube doesn't get mad at me playing Bloomberg here, but I think we should be okay. So put that on here, lower my thing, turn up the volume for you guys right here. And what I think I'm going to do is hide this for now because it just seems so funky to me. It seems so out of place. I like the thing scrolling on the bottom except for the weird little leg that it has. So I might need to pay for better servers or something like that. So let's hop in here and see exactly what they're talking about.
Another success story in terms of a stock that just climbs and climbs and climbs is Strategy. The company bought recently 1,045 more Bitcoin, bringing its total supply to 582,000, worth more than $60 billion. Bloomberg News took a look at Strategy and its 70 separate Bitcoin purchases since Michael Saylor began to invest cash from the company's balance sheet into the token in the middle of 2020, and every purchase over the last 4 years plus is now a profitable purchase.
Look at that. Their average price is 70,000. That is crazy because they had so many opportunities to buy more, but they have to get more funding every single time for this type of stuff. 70,000 bucks for the average holdings is wild. And hey, money, power, respect, crypto, happy to see you, my man. I'll let you know something after this. The news section is done about some of the Bitcoin technicals for today that you might have missed.
Well, I'm pleased to say that joining us now is Strategy Executive Chairman Michael Saylor himself. Michael, it's great to have you with us. We have a lot to talk about, and one of those things is a recent call from Jim Chanos. Of course, he's a legendary short seller. He came out recently and said basically buy Bitcoin, short Strategy shares. And just to set the scene here, I'm curious what you make of that.
Dude,
I don't think he understands what our business model is. We're actually the largest issuer of Bitcoin-backed credit instruments in the world. So last week, we just raised $1 billion by selling a preferred stock, non-cumulative, called Stride. That means we basically borrowed money that we never have to pay back, that we pay a dividend on, but we could suspend the dividend if we needed to. So Jim has been thinking that we somehow needed to sell the equity. We now are in a situation where we have Strike, Stride, and Strife, 3 publicly floating preferred stocks that are not dilutive to the equity. They all meet a different market requirement.
Right.
That $110 million of Bitcoin we bought last week, that was acquired without issuing any common stock. So what's going on here is that
basically they're making a shit ton of money and they have some loopholes they can work with here, but only because they're tied to Bitcoin, which is such a weird side thing compared to the other stocks. Like they couldn't do this with Apple or Microsoft, anything like that.
We're using our $60 billion of Bitcoin collateral to issue credit instruments. They never come due. There's no liquidation risk. There's not even an interest rate risk, right? It's a non-cumulative preferred, and we could suspend the dividends.
Right.
So at the end of the day, if he's lucky enough to short the stock below 1 times NAV, we're going to issue the preferreds, buy back the stock, and make money for our shareholders. If the stock trades at a weak premium, we're just going to sell the preferreds. And if the stock rallies up, he's going to get liquidated and wiped out.
Well, let's talk about that.
Now, again, we're going to come back to this in a second, but I want to remind you guys what happened to MicroStrategy back a few months ago, because there was a massive short attack on it. And that massive short attack was all the big hedge funds coming together to really just try to kick its ass. And you can see what happened. It did come down for a few weeks. It came down for a few months, but all of a sudden it managed to pop back up just like Bitcoin. And now it's doing a dip and rip type of effect. It's going to be hard to go up against this thing, especially if Bitcoin isn't falling. Now, if you see Bitcoin have the death cross, if you see Bitcoin having bad signs here, oh yeah, you short MicroStrategy, you'll make a killing on it. You get some options on that, and I'm talking about if it's at 391, I'm buying like 175 puts, right? Like that low, because you know that's how far this thing will drop. If things get scary, this thing, you know it can go down in a hurry. That's not the point. The point is right now, things are working out very well for it, only because Bitcoin's doing well, but long term, it's still a fantastic company, right?
that premium, because that is the heart of his short call on strategy, as you point out here. So he said recently on a podcast that shareholders are paying around $220,000 for Bitcoin that trades at $110,000, but the company is doing everything it can to close that spread, which is great. There's a catalyst. So he's referring to the fact that you are selling your own shares and buying Bitcoin. But when it comes to the premium that strategy shares enjoy over the price of Bitcoin itself, do you think that that's sustainable? The fact that, like he points out, that basically the value of your company is trading at twice that of Bitcoin itself.
What he still doesn't understand is we're not a holding company or a closed-end trust. We're an operating company. So when we issue, trust can't leverage the Bitcoin. They can't issue preferred shares. They can't issue permanent shares of equity at a premium. We can. Our company's generated a BTC dollar gain equal to about $8.4 billion in the first 2 quarters of this year. That's the equivalent of earnings for a Bitcoin treasury company. Our target for the year is $15 billion. And so he's valuing the business that's generating $8.4 billion of shareholder value at zero. And he's hoping that somehow the equity will trade to NAV. But what he's not paying attention to is, if we can issue preferred shares that yield 10% and invest it in Bitcoin, which has been going up 57% for the past 4.5 years, we're capturing the 47% arbitrage effectively risk-free for our common stock shareholders. And if you want to value the company, you have to value the company's ability to generate Bitcoin yield or Bitcoin gains over and above the actual holdings of the Bitcoin the company has.
So, as you said,
all right, so he actually makes a good point right there. Because Bitcoin is growing so much, like 50% year over year, usually the average, if you will, if he does issue those common stocks, it's pretty good news for everybody, I would say. Pretty good news for everybody. And hey, Arcasio, I can't pronounce the name properly, but happy to see you
have
here.
About $60 billion, $64 billion worth of Bitcoin. Your company is worth about twice that at $106, $107 billion in market cap. And you also have, obviously, an enterprise analytics software business. How do you break down the value of the rest of your company, ex Bitcoin holdings?
Before we start, look at that. Holds 582,000 Bitcoin. Price of Bitcoin is $108,000. That's obviously pretty great right now. Market value Bitcoin 63.3 billion. Strategy adjusted for diluted value $120 billion, $121 billion. Strategy premium 91%. That's a great premium.
If the company generates $10 billion of Bitcoin gains this year, you got to put a 10 or a 20 multiple on it, right? So the Bitcoin treasury company operation is worth a multiple of 10, 20, 30, or 40 times the BTC yield we're generating. That's the number one source of value for the operating business. And then the company also has $60 billion plus worth of Bitcoin. And I would say to investors, look at it that way. A BTC dollar gain is like our earnings equivalent. And then the Bitcoin NAV is the assets on the balance sheet. And you should just look at the earnings equivalent and put the multiple that you think is appropriate on it to come to an opinion about the value of the entire enterprise.
Michael, nobody has to explain the rapid rise in Bitcoin to me. I started buying Bitcoins at $800. I bought one as low as $600, but I spent them, unfortunately.
Everybody does.
How do you expect the asset to continue a price increase at these levels that we've seen? I mean, can it keep that up over the next 5 years, over the next 10 years? And at what point do we see, winter coming again? Because that's been a permanent fixture again. Because that's been. At what point do we see, winter coming again? Because that's been a permanent fixture of this asset class, right? It's gone from 0 or 1,000 to 20, and then back down to 3 or 4, and then up to 50, and then back down to 15, and now up to 110. Like, when does it drop again?
Winter's not coming back. We're past that. We're past that phase. If Bitcoin's not going to zero, it's going to $1 million. And you have all the evidence you need to determine that, right? The President of the United States has determined he supports Bitcoin.
Okay, before he gives his reason, I actually disagree with him on this. I don't think Bitcoin's just going to go up forever. I do think when we raise interest rates again for whatever reason, maybe in 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, something like that, that's when you start to have really devastating effects to the cryptocurrency market, because again, it's going to have devastating effects to the stock market as well, and all that money is kind of slushing together these days. So I disagree with him on that one. I think Bitcoin will eventually go back into crypto winter. It'll just be during a phase of higher interest rates, or climbing interest rates might be better for that one.
Bitcoin, the cabinet supports Bitcoin. Scott Bessent supports Bitcoin. Paul Atkins has shown himself to be an enthusiastic believer of Bitcoin and digital assets. Ken Taz at CFTC feels the same way. The banks are going to custody Bitcoin. Bitcoin has gotten through its riskiest period. The accounting has been corrected. There's now only 450 Bitcoin a day available for sale by natural sellers. That's the miners. At this level, that works out to about $50 million of Bitcoin available for sale every day. If that $50 million is bought, then the price has got to move up to find any seller that's price sensitive. Now, if you do the math, you'll actually see the Bitcoin treasury companies by themselves are buying the entire natural supply.
Yeah.
BlackRock and the ETFs are buying another measure of that. And we've got nation-state actors coming into the space. So I think when Bitcoin rallies,
I think nation-states are going to be the big one for us, just because they just will literally toss a bunch of money, they'll buy it, and they just don't have a plan to sell it. That's the goal. They just don't want to sell it, which is what a lot of retail does, but not institutions and not governments. And hey, David, happy to see you, my man. Appreciate you watching the show. Hey, Wilder, when you say you think Bitcoin will eventually go back to crypto winter, do you think it will go below where it is now? Yeah, I would anticipate. Here, let me show you very fast. Now, again, I don't know where Bitcoin is going to peak. That's kind of the flaw in all this. But when we have interest rates being risen, what indicator? Oh, I got the signals and overlays. There we go. There we go. Let's just go to the monthly chart, actually. This was higher interest rates starting right there, right? Higher interest rates all through 2021. This was also higher interest rates over here. It doesn't have to be a cataclysmic drop, right? This was more of a COVID type of effect, right? But, and also, oh, excuse me. This was interest rates. Sorry, I forgot this little piece right here. This was higher interest rates climbing, and this was higher interest rates climbing. Without interest rates climbing, we're usually in a pretty freaking good state. Yeah, this is pausing basically, right? This is pausing, and then we saw some over here we saw cuts, and that led to a big move, right? But generally speaking, you know, we have some really nasty moves when we have interest rate hikes. Let me get out of my portfolio here, and let's go over here to funds rate trading economics. Now this doesn't, I don't know how many years or something goes, but 10 years? Okay. All right, 2016, 2017, fine, right? Started to speed up a little bit more in 2018. We could even go from the first cut over here. Oh no, we were coming out of like 0.25. See, that didn't really matter too much. But back over here, once we started hitting 2, that was August of what, 2018? August 2018 was right here. Nasty move. Oh, okay, yeah, actually, no, let me go back. Maybe that was wrong about that. November of 2016 is when we started getting kicked. No, it wasn't too bad over here. That's way over here. This is during the middle of the rally. So once we got really, actually, let me just go backwards. Let me do this. December of 2017. Yeah, it's basically when we started breaking into the 1.5 to 2 range. That's when people started to freak out, apparently. This was 2019 right here. That was what? December 19th of 2018. This is basically when we had market bottom is when we stopped. So when they stopped, we had market bottom and we started to climb back up again. And then we started to go back down, and that was before COVID, obviously, so that kind of messed things up. And then back over here in 2022, I mean, we already lived through 2022. It was definitely a bad experience, but usually during those times, you can expect a drop. That's the point. It may not be exactly at that point, right? You can see like a few months of changes. But when we're raising rates, Bitcoin usually decides like, whoa, we got to take a little bit of a breather here. And it's not just Bitcoin. Again, it's the entire market, right? This was 2022 interest rate hikes. This was the interest rate hikes over here. It can look different. It doesn't have to be like a horrible big event, but usually for Bitcoin, it lasts for a while. Hopefully, I think the infrastructure this time around is going to be a lot better when that does occur. So I think the 2022 crash for Bitcoin was so much worse, primarily because we had exchanges falling like flies. We had Celsius go down, Voyager go down, FTX go down, all these like big name exchange, they were all falling like rocks. And that's what was really concerning a lot of people and why we went down for so long and so bad. Again, over here, this was COVID. That wasn't terrible. If you think about this, this was what? A lot of consolidation, then 1-2 months of really going down bad. It wasn't that bad. COVID kind of skews the chart a little bit, of course. This one was really only 3 months of really going down bad. But again, there was a lot of Congress stuff, there was a lot of shit going down during that time, as you guys might know. And of course, we were hitting like record high inflation levels that we hadn't seen since what, the 70s or 80s or something like that. So again, it doesn't have to be disastrous, but I do think it'll be bad for most people because during that time, like here, example for this one, let's just go up to the Bitcoin crashes, right? That went down about 50% for Bitcoin just through the crash part. And this one over here went down about 61%. If Bitcoin's dropping, like, let's say 30 to 50%, let's not even go 61, 30 to 50%, somewhere around there, imagine what altcoins are freaking doing. Altcoins are dead. They're like a fish out of water, just flapping, you know, and then we're trying to trade those little flaps and whatnot. It's a little bit different, right? Now, why is this... Why is that like that? I don't know what's going on with this one. This one's not supposed to be like this. Let's see if we can get back to this thing. Oh, I chose the wrong one. Okay, that's why I was like, what the heck? Why is that on there? There you go. Perfect. Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's finish off his video here. We're almost done. We're about halfway done, but we're not going to watch the entire thing here.
If it surges to 500,000 or $1 million, then maybe we could talk about it crashing down by $200,000 a coin. But at the current price levels, it only takes $50 million to turn the entire drive shaft of the crypto economy one turn. And you've got the Trump media organization announcing $2.5 billion. Mm-hmm. You've got GameStop announcing $500 million. You've got my company that's raising billions and billions of dollars. So the writing is on the wall. Bitcoin's moving higher.
Okay, so there's a few things to dig into there.
Big things, yeah.
One, that in your words, Bitcoin winter is not coming back. I'm rereading Game of Thrones right now, so that statement gives me the...
I think it doesn't come back unless we have higher interest rates, and that's just part of every cycle. We go back to having higher interest rates. This is something we do all the time. Now, it may take years in between them, but we do have them, you know?
Shivers, but I did want to go to the competitive landscape, if you can phrase it that way, and you went there naturally. You think about the ETF suites out there. IBIT, for example, already up to $72 billion in assets. There's a lot of Bitcoin treasury companies that have come to the scene. As you mentioned, 21 Capital comes to mind, started by Jack Mallers, and they all have the intention of just accumulating Bitcoin. That would be good for the price, Michael, as you say, but do you worry about the competition out there to buy Bitcoin? It's going to become more and more expensive, and everyone's competing for a shrinking pie, if you will.
I think we're in a digital gold rush, and you've got 10 years to acquire all your Bitcoin before there's no Bitcoin left for you. The competition is a virtuous competition. Metaplanet's the hottest company in Japan right now. They went from 10 million to $1 billion market cap to a $5 billion market cap. They're going to raise billions of dollars. They're going to pull the liquidity out of the Japanese market. So they'll be raising capital in Tokyo and the Tokyo Stock Exchange. Obviously, none of the rest of us are trading or selling equity in the Tokyo Stock Exchange. So it's not competitive. It's cooperative. There are companies coming public in Brazil right now, like Orange BTC, that'll come public in some time frame, and Melius. They're actually supporting equity capital markets in Brazil. You know, the GameStops, they already had $6 billion of capital, and so for them to start to take some of that capital and funnel into Bitcoin, it's good for all of us. Nakamoto and 21, they'll bring their own particular twist. Our company has a very particular business model. It's to issue Bitcoin-backed credit instruments like Bitcoin-backed bonds and especially Bitcoin-backed preferred stocks. We're the only company in the world that's ever been able to issue a preferred stock backed by Bitcoin. We've done 3 of them in the past 5 months. We're not competing against the Bitcoin treasury companies. We're competing against ETFs like PFF that have portfolios of preferred stocks or corporate bond portfolios that are trading as ETFs in the public market.
Okay, that's enough of that. I don't need to hear anything more from him right now because it goes on for more of the business aspect for the rest of the video. But again, he made some big points here that, you know, we've talked about a little bit here. But do you guys think we're ever going to have a crypto winter again? I mean, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. I think we will. I just think it's really built off of what happens when we look at interest rates. I think it's always been about interest rates. When we have those interest rates going higher, it really kills the vibe. It really kills the vibe. And that's just something I've grown accustomed to. Maybe things have changed so much that every time there's a big dip, companies will want to buy. But you know, Microsoft had a big dip, Apple had a big dip, you know, Nvidia had a big dip. All of those companies had a big dip, and I don't think Bitcoin is going to be so different from all of those mega conglomerate type of companies. I just don't think it's going to match that, right? Or it is going to match that type of behavior. Excuse me, it is going to match that type of behavior. Now, you were talking about let's see right here. Everyone is waiting for the drop, but it seems delayed. I just talked about this a few minutes ago in War Games. So Benjamin put this post up today, and he says, historically, the Bitcoin market cycle top is when the 200 weekly moving average crosses the prior all-time high. So you can see the 200 moving average crossing the previous all-time high. Then we had Bitcoin drop. This was back over here in 2014. In 2018, the same thing happened. Give or take a week, happened right there. Give or take a week happened right over here, and it hasn't happened yet, but we are getting closer. We probably have, maybe a year more at max, right? And that's fine. That's fine. These moves down are just great buying opportunities for the long term, but we just really have never had the institutional buyers in here to buy that much when everything's, you know, looking really bad. But I still like what I see right now, and I think we are still far away from the top. Hopefully there's nothing crazy good. How should I say this? Yeah, I'm just excited to see how this plays out over the next few months. That's what I'm looking for here. Now, as far as the rest of the market here, there really isn't too many people talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is primed for a surge to hit fresh all-time highs above 130,000. That's from CNBC. Let's see. Bitcoin has stayed above $100,000 for the last 30 consecutive days for the first time ever. That's some good news here. But generally speaking, right? It's a nice calm day for Bitcoin, and you've seen Bitcoin pretty much consolidate throughout the day. Nothing too bad, nothing too good, just going normal consolidation here, right? Consolidation, and now Bitcoin is moving higher and higher, and it might even finish off the day being bullish, which is wild because it was down as far as like $2,000 earlier today, way over here, right? So things are still looking pretty darn good. The bad thing here is I was looking to day trade with you guys, but then the move happened at 11:45 a.m. I did trade this. But I sold it right here. You can see that change of character right there when it actually went higher. I basically sold it because it was a resistance level, actually slightly below that, for a nice trade, and it's still going higher. I'm hoping that it will go red and green during the stream so I can open up another trade for you guys, but I don't know if that's the case. I'll have to be watching the 1 minute chart because the 1 minute charts have been doing okay for us as long as you've been holding the stop loss here. This one didn't work out, which is fine, but that one worked out. Loss, win, win. 3 wins and a loss. I'll take that every single time here, every single time. All right. Now, as far as the rest of the world news and things like that, Zuckerberg makes his biggest AI bet as Meta nears $14 billion stake in Scale AI, hires founder Wang. Have you guys heard about Scale AI? I don't think I've heard about it yet, actually. Scale AI accelerate the development of AI applications. Trusted by world-class companies, Scale delivers high-quality training data for AI applicants such as self-driving cars, mapping, AR, VR, robotics. Oh, interesting. Okay. Meta is creating a new AI lab to pursue superintelligence. They're paying about 15 billion bucks for this, so they are making a big play. A big play. Looks like that was news from earlier today. All right, that's interesting to see. Now, as far as the rest of the news is concerned here, guys, more of the LA stuff. California asked a judge to quickly block the Trump troop deployments. It was rejected. They're going to have a proper court date, but there's no immediate stop to this. We're going to see more troops head into LA. Hopefully the riots will stop. I was watching some stuff on X today and TikTok, excuse me. Man, they were stealing everything out of the iPhone stores. They were trying to break into a 7-Eleven, but the 7-Eleven employees were holding the doors shut. It was some wild stuff, guys. Some absolutely wild stuff to watch. So if you guys are in LA right now, I hope you guys are being safe and not going out to riot and stuff like that. Protest all you want, but be careful of the rioters. Those are the ones causing all the issues here. Now, this was something more of a side thing. I thought about this a while ago, but it seems like it's actually coming to pass now, and China fears are growing of an EV financial crisis amid a pricing war. China has some really great Chinese vehicles. I would say their Chinese vehicles are miles better than the American EV vehicles, to be honest. In fact, I believe like what the Ford CEO has a Chinese electric car because he's just like, damn, this thing is freaking amazing, right? So that should speak volumes, right? I'm just going to read the key points because this isn't a story we have to dive deep into. But electric vehicle makers in China, led by the country's market leader BYD, have been engaged in a bruising price war. High-profile auto executives have sounded the alarm, with the head of the Great Wall Motor calling the industry unhealthy. Used car sellers say they're also worried about the effects on sales, right? So people are getting worried, but it hasn't necessarily hit the fan just yet, right? So BYD is drawing most fire after announced price cuts in late May for many of its models. Some of the discounts are as steep as 34%. Its cheapest car, the Seagull Mini Hatchback, now only costs about $7,700, down from about $10,000. This is why I love pure capitalism, because the price wars affect us. We haven't really seen too much of a price war in America. Everybody wants to keep the cars very, very expensive. Whereas in China and other countries, man, those price wars, they be hitting like crazy. But again, the cars are just a little bit different as well. But look at this Seagull Mini Hatchback. Check this out. This little car for $7,000. It's not a bet. You buy a used car for that in America, right? $7,000 for that, all new. That is absolutely fantastic. Especially if you're a city person and you're just living in the city, like in downtown Seattle or LA, you know, or New York, or even Austin, Texas, whatever, even Bozeman, Montana, for all I know. These little cars seem like they're perfect. And they go fast, they do their job, they charge fast. That's all you're looking for. Why can't we have something like this out here in America? I'd love it. Again, at that same price point. At that same price point, right? Now, finally here, we talked about this yesterday, but Apple's event yesterday really sucked. I'm hoping they can start moving on AI, but I don't know what's keeping Apple so slow on AI. I wonder if it's just the bureaucracy of having such a large company is just stopping them from really making money off this or really innovating in this space. But I think they really need to push this harder, because when you see stagnation like this when it comes to Apple and other companies, and the market's been giving them a grace period because they're Apple, right? You don't see Apple crashing nearly as much as other assets over the past few years. I think this opens the door for a really serious competitor to move in and really blow everybody away with some new AI tech, which can really get people being, oh, this is the new hip thing. Apple isn't it anymore. And that's going to be a hard thing to do. It's going to be a very hard thing to do, but Apple is leaving themselves open to that type of attack. I was thinking they might have the Huawei phones in America eventually, but I don't think Trump's going to allow that. I don't think any American president is going to allow that. But it can be another brand. It can definitely be another brand. Even like a BlackBerry making a comeback or something like that. Those are the type of things that I think can really freak people out, right? And then lastly, as far as news, before we start going over to day trading and stuff like that, I want to turn my music thing back down and just put the music back on for you guys as well. There we go. Well, that's a horrible song. There we go. My neighbors are power washing. Okay. Now, I saw this on today and I kind of just looked through it. So this is called CNBC Disruptor 50. I've never really seen this before, but it basically just goes over all the new AI companies, right? So 2025 CNBC Disruptor 50, see the full list of companies leading the new era of AI breakthroughs and riches. I went through this list. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. Now, I don't know if any of you guys are going to be using some of this stuff, right? But Anduril sounds like a freaking name from Lord of the Rings or something like that. Leading the new military technology complex. OpenAI, we already know that one. Databricks, building blocks of intelligence. That kind of almost sounds like blockchain technology for me. The business case for AI is Anthropic. I don't use Anthropic, but I know it's very, very powerful, very, very good. Canva has been very, very good. I use that for obviously some of my thumbnails and stuff like that. I need to use the AI components maybe more. I just haven't done it so much. But there's a lot of interesting stuff in here. So if you guys do want to look at it, I would highly recommend it. I went through a few of these just to see if I could use them. And the only one I really enjoyed, I'll say Runway, was number 50. This is more for making clips and videos using fully AI, which I think is going to be very, very good as a content creator. It means that maybe I can just not have to do as much work later on in life, which will be absolutely fantastic. I really have no idea how content creation is going to happen 5, 10, 15 years from now, but I know I need to figure it out now so I can make as much money off of it before everybody else starts learning how to do it, which will be interesting. You even got like therapeutic companies, abnormal AI for fishy business. You know, a lot of weird stuff going on here, but I like it. So now that all that is done, I'm gonna get rid of all these extra tabs that I have. Go over here to Bitcoin. Right now you're seeing on these charts the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 5 minute, and the 1 minute here. Everything is bullish, and if you guys bought this morning at 11:45, you are very happy with the results, especially since you can see right here from the hourly chart, we ran right up into some of those previous levels of resistance, and that's where we are right now. That's why you can see this magnificent order block over here. I don't think I need to go long just yet. I really want to wait to see if it can go from red to green again, and then I want to buy. I've tried to rush these trades over the last few days and they have not been doing anything good for me, and I wonder if it's just the time for us, because this one happened again at 11:45 a.m. This one over here that did work, it did have a nice move, it didn't break down below stop loss. That was at 2:40 a.m. This one you probably wouldn't have traded because of the bearishness on the MACD, probably on the 5 minute chart. That was at 10:25 p.m. This one over here was at 2:05 p.m. right? This one over here was at 1:35 a.m. This one over here was at 4:20 a.m. So I haven't had any luck with these moves happening during the streams. So I almost wonder if what I should do is when I see these moves throughout the day, when I'm having my chart just on my monitor over here to the right, and so this one, why don't I just open up a trade and just kind of show you guys, well, I bought it exactly at this time when it turned green, and then I either sold it like I did right here, right? I sold that there for a few $100 profit, or just leave it for a while and just have the stop loss, move the stop loss to the opening price, which will be right here, and then just like say, hey guys, this is where I bought it, we're still in the trade, so you guys can see what's going on. I think that might be the easier way, because I am getting frustrated. This is day 3, day 1 and day 2, horrible, because they just take forever for the opportunities to present themselves. And again, we talked about buying it way back over here with a swing trade a few days ago, and that swing trade worked out perfectly. I just, boom, beautiful, 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 beautiful. But we're just not there right now, and I just freaking hate it. Yeah, so that's inner thoughts happening right now. So if you guys have any questions and things like that, you want to look at tokens, just let me know, because we can go down that list, okay? And that can't happen to see my man. Really curious about your thoughts on the Altcoin, the AI scanning tech. I have a bunch of that right now. I'm holding it for the long term. It is high risk, of course, but they got Sam Altman in there, so I'm hoping that this notoriety will really get it pumping up to go higher. But I do hold a lot of it. It had a really good rally last year, a fantastic rally, so I'm hoping that type of thing will continue once we see the Bitcoin dominance start to creep back down a little bit, which probably won't happen for a few weeks to a few months, but when it happens, I'll be there with a big bag of it ready to go sky high. Remember, same thing happened with Mudang. I bought some Mudang because, like the token, again, this is more of a meme token, right? Mudang. But I was down about like what, 40-50%, and then all of a sudden within like 3 days I was up like 30%. That's how fast some of these things can move. And I believe the same thing can be said about World Token, even the ID token, a lot of these AI tokens. I believe there's always going to be a demand for them because we're in the age of AI, and AI is like around everything we do. It's in everybody's subconscious right now. Even when I ask something of Siri, you know, the outside glows nowadays and things like that. You're saying bail on alts. I can imagine them going lower though. When it hits the news, it means we're coming down. Yeah, so I'm not talking about bailing on altcoins right now, but there is going to be a period where we hit an altcoin season, which I still think is going to happen. But during that period, I need to be scaling out and locking in profits, and then eventually I may be left over with some type of bag or something like that. But I'm going to be making so much money that I don't care. So whenever Bitcoin starts to tilt back over, Bitcoin has a death cross with the 20 and the 50-week moving averages, and that kind of symbolizes the end of the cycle, in my opinion. Or maybe Benjamin Cohen's when the 200 moving average reaches the same price as the previous all-time high. When that happens, I'm going to be selling off a large portion of my altcoins. Even if the altcoins continue to be rising during that time, myself, I'll be scaling out heavily, locking in those gains. And again, no matter where you're buying your altcoins right now, if we go through an altcoin season like I think we are, we're still going to be much better off a few weeks from now, a few months from now, you know, whenever the altcoin season peaks. It'll be fantastic. Is MSTR going to 600? Or am I going to lose all my money on MST options? It can probably hit that by this Friday if we just have a big breakout, though. But there was a little, you saw part of that video was basically altcoins, not altcoins. Excuse me, a massive short investor putting some shorts on MicroStrategy. So that kind of pushed the price down a little bit today because so many shares are being sold off. If Bitcoin does have a nice breakout, that guy should have a massive short squeeze propelling you up for a good amount. It just depends on how much ammo he really put into it, and does he have ammo for a while to kind of hold it back in case people really want to load up on it. I think for now you should still be fine with those options, but if you feel like, uh-oh, this is not what you want to be part of, you can always scale out of those options and take a small loss instead of taking a larger loss if MicroStrategy were to plummet down like 5% a day, 6% a day, which it definitely can do with the volatility of Bitcoin here. And hey Mo, I'm doing well. I'm doing a lot better than yesterday. So I forgot, this is how bad my brain was yesterday. So I started fasting on Sunday night, and yesterday was Monday, so I forgot that I hadn't been eating, and I've just been drinking and taking some medications and pills and stuff like that. So my brain was going through, I guess, the brain fog while my brain was getting like, my body was saying, hey, there's no more carbs and sugar in your system. We have to shut down taking that, and we have to start turning your fat into the energy that you use for your brain and everything like that. So I was kind of pizzazzy, and I was like fucked up yesterday. Not off of drugs, I promise, or weed or anything, but what do you call it? Just my brain going through like the ketosis thing. And then I had to talk with my doctor about it this morning because I felt so fucking weird last night. I was like, damn, this fucking feels weird. I felt like really out of sorts. So what I did was talk to my doctor, and he was like, oh yeah, that's normal. We talked about it, but I didn't think it was gonna happen that fast, but I was like, okay, that's fine. So today I'm back to being normal. I'm having some cinnamon coffee that also helps out with like weight loss and just keeping my metabolism going well. But I'm basically doing 3 days fasting, and then on the every Tuesday, which I guess I start maybe on this Saturday, every Saturday and every Tuesday, I'm going to break my fast with a single meal that's about like 700 to 1,000 calories, and that's basically going to be throughout the day. I have 6 hard-boiled eggs. Literally went to Costco Business this morning and got a 5 dozen case of eggs, which is quite a bit, right? 5 dozen case of eggs, and I'm gonna have 6 of those eggs for a meal. I'm gonna have a 6-ounce piece of salmon and 2 cups of spinach, and I'm gonna like do some olive oil and cook it all up together. And then I got some tomatoes on a stem, right? So you put that in there, right? Really good. So I'm hoping this diet thing works out. Plus what I just got, I'll show you guys this thing very fast. So again, we're going off of tangents here just because, again, we're waiting for an opportunity to buy Bitcoin, but I'm not forcing it here. I'm not forcing it. It arrives Friday, so that takes a minute. Jesus, okay. All right. So I got one of these things. So while I'm streaming and working from my computer, you can see I last purchased it today. 99 bucks. It's on sale, I guess, for Father's Day. While I'm streaming with you guys, I can be doing some pedaling. While I'm doing my normal work, I can be doing some pedaling, so I can lose extra calories and stuff like that, which would be absolutely fantastic. And there's different settings and things like that. I'm gonna monitor my my heartbeat with my Apple Watch here, and then see how it works out. But I'm super excited about this. Super excited about this, because while I'm sitting down in my chair, I can just be pedaling for an hour, right? Pedaling is out really quiet too. Pedal for an hour, take an hour off. Pedal for an hour, take an hour off, or half an hour on, whatever. I'll just be doing that throughout the day, depending on how it makes me feel, right? And then I'll also be doing I sit down and bike for 2 hours a day while doing like phone calls and stuff for business, or just chilling out and watching TV, to be honest. Not usually totally full of business calls, as you might imagine being a YouTuber. But I'm really excited about this. This thing is gonna be freaking awesome. There was like $20 versions and $30 versions, but this $100 version seemed like it was gonna be really cool. So I'm hopeful about it. Put a little strap on like that, and just a little pedaling, right? And it goes forward and backwards, so maybe that'll be a good little kick for me here. So I'm excited about that one, right? Very excited about that. You see Bitcoin coming down a little bit more right now, which is fine. We're at a big level of resistance, by the way, which makes it a little bit easier. We're very far away from that potential big breakdown, though. You can see imaginary trend line right there. You're probably going to see somebody short up here for a little bit of a pullback again before tomorrow, where I think we're going to have a much larger move. Part of me wants to open a short right now and then close it within like 5-6 hours, and then open it back up early morning, so we can kind of take advantage of a big move. But we'd have to see exactly how the market's looking during that move in the morning, right? And hey, GT, wait, Mike, I didn't quite follow the Bitcoin top of the two. Okay, so yeah, so this is something that Benjamin Cohen was talking about here. So mine doesn't go as far back as his does. I should probably just find his post, that way it makes it easier for you to see. This one right here. So, excuse me. So he says historically the Bitcoin market cycle top is in when the 200 weekly SMA crosses the prior all-time high. So this is the 200 weekly SMA simple moving average. When this itself matches the previous all-time high, Bitcoin tends to stall. Stalled right here, matches all-time high, the previous one. Stalled, matches the previous all-time high over here. Stalled. We're a little bit further away from it right now, but technically speaking, this is just a pattern that he found, which is pretty interesting, that I kind of like. And I'm going to be talking about this closer to the point of when we see that cross happening, or that pattern kind of reemerge. I'll talk about it here, but it's usually plus or minus like a month, basically, as far as I've been able to see. So you have about a month of like, we could be topping out. What's happening on that time? So maybe we're having that event happen. Maybe on top of that, we're hitting a big Fibonacci level on that larger move that we've been talking. Maybe 175,000, maybe something higher for lucky. But during that time, this could be it. I'm probably going to sell off a large chunk of my cryptocurrency assets, right? So you never want to be caught holding a bag at the end of the cycle, especially after last cycle. Last cycle burned me hard on a few tokens. Oh, God. And my Matic is still in bad shape. Still in bad shape right now. And hey, Tyler, those riders should be jailed. A lot of them were jailed, actually. A lot of them were jailed last night. They boxed them into a city block, and they were like, you are arrested. You are arrested. And hey Kumar, hey Mike, I did not get the live notification today. Yeah, YouTube is throttling me or something. I don't really know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why they're doing it. I think it's because my channel can't make money for them, so they're putting the other channels that will make money. Remember guys, I'm still demonetized, so I don't actually make anything besides like my normal day trading and stuff like that. Remember, I still made $0 for the last 28 days. This year, oh, that's the last 365 days. During 2025, I've only made like $117, $118, right? Because that's when they demonetized me. I'm gonna reapply to do it. They said I can do it again in July, so I'm gonna see how that works out. But yeah, it's, oh God, it's rough. Let's say that. I need that money to do crazy stuff for my channel and experiment and do things, so I don't stagnate too much. There we go. But yeah, a lot of people haven't been getting the notification. I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do. The best thing I can tell you is just to know every day at 4 p.m. Pacific time, Sunday through Thursday, I will be live for you guys to talk about what's going on. I've kind of like blocked out my schedule. I'm not even going up to Seattle as much anymore on Wednesdays when I used to go smoking with friends, because I wanted just to lock in that 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock time to chill with you guys. Now on Fridays and Saturdays, I'm gonna kick it. I'm gonna kick it with my friends, have a good time, relax. Everything's gonna be fine there. But as far as the rest of the days, yeah, 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, you are gonna see me here. You're gonna see me here. So just keep that in mind, okay? Thoughts on SPS 6900? Let me go over here for this one. The best one, let's see. Data issue. No, okay, we should be good. Okay, let's go over here to the daily chart. This thing's been rallying for a while. I mean, you're hitting a pretty big level of resistance. So if you've been buying into this, you're definitely looking to scale out right now. You're hitting a pretty nice little resistance level as far as the body of the candles. As far as the wick is concerned, you still have a little bit more leeway here, but really no 200 moving average on this sucker yet. Okay, that's fine by me. You see the momentum is all strong. If you bought when the momentum was bullish right here, even though it's bearish, bullish right here, still everything worked out great since then. On the weekly chart, there's not really many moving averages. Is here. I'd really be scaling out a good chunk of what I had. If I bought anything over here, I'd be scaling out, selling a chunk, and then leaving the rest out in the hopes that it would eventually go higher. But you might see this thing consolidate a little bit more before moving up. Just a little bit of a dip and rip type of effect. For this one though, this is the weekly chart. Let's put the low, high, low. The next level of resistance is up here on $1.97. The daily chart, how's it been working here? How has it been working? Has it been working at all? A little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Okay. Okay. It's been okay. The Fibonacci's haven't really been honored as much, but you can see there's usually some resistance around that level, Maybe not completely there, but around that level you see some resistance here. So I'd probably say, yeah, you're in scale up mode right now, and you're probably hoping for somewhere around $1.80 up to $2 and maybe 10 cents. Give you a 40% swing right there. That's why I'd be looking to scale the most amount out. But if you buy anywhere down here, I would still, like if you haven't scaled out anything yet, I would still be scaling out right now. It's still bullish, it's still lots of momentum, but you got to be careful because eventually this thing's going to consolidate a little bit, and that consolidation is going to see a lot of profit taking because people have not had a reason to take profits since way back over here on May 30th, right? So what's that, a couple weeks ago? Yeah, they're looking for a reason right now, and it's not it's not a bad one, especially if Bitcoin's consolidating. But overall, I'd be holding that one like I'd be holding it like crazy right now with small scale ups, depending on what you bought, like I said. Tomorrow going to be green because of the China-US agreement. Technically, I think tomorrow should be green just because of the momentum we have on the charts right now. We also had rumors of a USA-Mexico trade agreement that's going to be announced pretty soon. The China one, if that's good, maybe that is an announcement as well. And then we also have inflation CPI data coming out tomorrow. So there's a lot of stuff that can be very, very good for Bitcoin. There's a lot of stuff that can be very, very bad for Bitcoin. I would say the biggest one that I'm paying attention to is going to be the CPI report coming out tomorrow. And then the smaller issues are going to be how pleasant was the China-US meeting, and then is there a Mexico deal coming out as well? Let me show you Mexico USA trade. So this is routers. US Mexico discussed deal to cut Trump's steel tariff, sources stay. So the United States and Mexico negotiating a deal to reduce or eliminate President Donald Trump's 50% steel tariffs on imports up to a certain volume, industry and trade sources said on Tuesday. An industry source familiar with the talks said that a likely outcome would include a quota arrangement under which a specified volume from Mexico could enter duty-free or at a reduced rate, and any imports above that level would be charged the full 50% tariff. There you go. So there is some movement happening there, but that seems like a very small type of thing compared to the China one, and of course compared to CPI data and everything like that. And we're still climbing here bit by bit, but it is a little bit more slow right now. A little bit more slow. And they tell you, you have an idea for a coin that could be a project then sold to a major gaming company. How do you even get started with that? Man, I have no idea. I'd probably say go to ChatGPT, because you got to figure out exactly what blockchain you want to be on, right? I'm sure there's a YouTube video on it, but like the communities that I'm in, there's always somebody I know that can do that type of stuff, but it's just such a slog, right? I know personally like 5 people that have tried to start up gaming companies, whether it be trading cards or anything like that, and they really just haven't gone anywhere, right? And it's a shame because they work so hard on it, right? But they just haven't gone anywhere. So you really have to find an entity that can really put some money behind you, get you running fast, get more money behind you. You have to meet quotas to make sure the game actually looks good and stuff like that. But if you want to go full indie, you might want to ask for a grant, which could be pretty interesting as well. You might want to ask for a grant from Ethereum or whatever blockchain you're going to be building on. Ask for a grant for them. They may give you $5,000, $10,000, and you can kind of go wild with it, right? That could be the best way, I think. But I would say ChatGPT might be your best option for getting started, because I am not that type of expert, right? Apple is paying out some lawsuits. The tariffs, I'm sure, are really going to hurt them as well. Oh, but yeah, Apple's in some pain right now, but they'll be fine in the long term. But they need to just fix some of this boring stuff they have. Apple is not exciting. I think the new iPhone looks hideous. Personally, I think it looks hideous. I'm not going to upgrade from my 16, whatever I have, 16, 17 I have now. I'm not going to upgrade to the next one because it just looks that bad. I'm hoping this will be one of those things where they learn how bad it was, and then what they're going to do is be like, oh yeah, it was bad, our bad, we know. We're going to go back to the other design. And I'm like, oh, maybe then I'll move up, right? Just depends on how bad my battery is at that point. And always, David, happy to help you out, my man. And hey, happy to see you as well. Hopefully you had a good day. It's nice and sunny out here in the Pacific Northwest. Fasting heals so much. Dude, trust me, I know. I was going over my diet with ChatGPT because, of course, I'm a very fat dude. So I obviously burn a lot of calories just by doing my normal fat guy stuff, like sitting down or walking around and stuff like that. So I was kind of like plugging in what my doctor said to ChatGPT so it could help me. So my doctor was like, yeah, you burn about 3,500 calories every day by doing nothing but just sitting on your ass. 3,500 calories, right? And he says, oh yeah, then you walk around like 4,000 steps a day. Sometimes it's up to 10,000. Sometimes you only walk a few hundred, depending on if, like, I'm resting my ankle or something like that. But he said on average, it's around 3,500 to 4,000 steps a day on average. That's kind of hard because I don't always wear my watch, but somewhere around there. So that's also losing some few hundred calories, right? So that's like 4,000 calories right there. Plus this new pedal thing that I'm going to be doing, that's going to be an extra like 400, 500 calories a day, depending on how much I do it. Actually, let me break it down here. Let me see. I know I have it in here somewhere. There you go. This is my chat GPT. I'm morbidly obese, right? Morbidly obese. Where is this at? Because I wanted to make sure it was safe, because I asked my doctor the same thing. He's like, oh no, it's fine. You got a lot of weight on you, right? So I fast every day. I eat a meal twice a week. That meal is gonna be around 1,000 calories, but my daily burn is around 6,400 calories because of my BMR, which is basically my weight, like the process of my body to keep moving and staying alive, right? With no food. 2 hours of biking a day, which I think is fine. It's sitting down biking, not like biking out in the streets and some shit. And then 4 hours of the seated pedaling, which I talked about, plus extra stuff that I do, like walking around a little bit. I go to the gym every now and again, things like that. That's like 64,000 calories burned a day, right? And then 1,000 calories twice a week, so 2,000 calories, right? So that's total calories burned in a week, 45,000. Total calories eaten in a week, 2,000. Weekly calorie deficit is 43,000 right here, and the weekly fat loss is going to be around 12 pounds a week. I've already lost about 5 pounds since I started fasting, which is like crazy, and I've been chugging a bunch of water, having a bunch of coffee, iced coffee with cinnamon put inside, basically, right? Now, there will be times I eat more food if I'm like really starving or something like that, but it kind of keeps my body in keto, and I'm excited about that because it gave me some crazy thing. I'm not going to lose 52 pounds in 30 days. It's not going to happen. But you know, I'm working through here. Like within 2 days, I lost 5 pounds, but that's I'm losing water weight and stuff too. So as it goes on, it'll work itself out. Yeah, but fasting, once you get past that hump, which I had to go through yesterday, was a horrible hump, I feel a lot better, When I mentioned spider lines last night, I meant spider line indicator. I believe it's on TradingView. What about the spider line indicator? I don't have much experience using the spider lines personally, but I can try to look it up for you if you want to. Glad to hear back feeling normal. Fasting is tough, bro. About killed me last night. Not like physically killed me, but my brain was so deprived of all the energy it needed, and I didn't realize it was gonna hit exactly when I did it. And I have to take a bunch of pills. My doctor says, oh yeah, you gotta take zinc pills, your basic vitamin pills, your D3 pills. I said B12 if my basic vitamin doesn't have enough. I don't like B12 pills, so I don't take them. I keep them in the main vitamin pill, right? I take krill oil pills. I take a bunch of shit now. But I mean, I'm electrolytes, so I'm not like, my body's okay while not eating food. Obviously, if you're not eating food, you're not getting any minerals, you're freaking in a bad spot, right? Yeah, but yeah, the fish, the tomatoes, what do you call it? I could even have some mushrooms if I want extra calories, but I think for now, I'm gonna keep it simple. But I think instead of Tuesday and Saturday, I might have to move it to Thursday and Sunday? Thursday and Sunday, maybe something like that. I'm not entirely sure, because I don't want to wait until next Tuesday or next Sunday to eat. So I gotta figure it out. But literally, went to Costco, got a massive thing of eggs. I went to the Costco business, 5 dozen eggs. Like, we're good to go. 60 eggs for myself. Oh, that's beautiful. And if you guys can, please make sure to like the video. It helps out a lot. And no way, GT, happy to help you out as always, my man. It's definitely an interesting pattern that I haven't seen before, and that Benjamin found. So, props to him for finding that out. And hey Goya, what's up Mike? Always glad to see you streams. I appreciate that as well. New York weather is still the shitter. Thoughts on the Shiba versus Pepe? Okay, for me, I want to hold both of them, but right now I'm primarily more excited about Pepe, and that's because Pepe I can hold for the long term, and I can also day trade pretty well. Sheep is something I want to hold for the long term, and by long term I just mean until we have altcoin season. And then after that, I just haven't really found many opportunities to day trade sheep the way I like them. So you can see, maybe I just pull up the 4-hour chart right here. Pepe, right? Daily chart. Forget about these, because again, this stuff doesn't work necessarily as well with altcoins. You kind of see where Bitcoin is on the red and green, and then you see, oh yeah, how the altcoins will move during that time, right? So don't worry about that type of stuff. But Pepe has had a nice bit of chop, and I've enjoyed it, especially some of these breakdowns here and like playing around with that type of stuff. But the last few, this is the weekly chart, right? Nice chop, still working out. Back in December, had a really nice move, all-time highs, I believe, yes. So still ultimately going higher, so I love this for the long term. It's really, really great. And of course, day trading is just, I would say, average day trading, right? But overall, pretty good. Maybe if I go over here to the hourly chart, even with this, it might actually work with the hourly chart. Yeah, hourly chart here is working out okay. 4 hour probably not working out as much. Not working out that bad. That one worked okay for a few hours. That one is a no. Yes, no, yes. Oh no, that had a stop loss right there. That had a stop loss. But you might have gone with a breakup structure, something like that. So generally speaking, it's okay. It's good, I would say. Sheeb, pretty similar. It just doesn't have those massive swings, which makes these risks easier. And you can see a lot more bad, right? Okay, no, okay, no. Oh, that one actually worked out okay, right? Just see a lot more chop in here that I don't necessarily. Oh shit, scared the crap out of me. Yeah, you see a lot more chop. Hold on. There you go. Yeah. Freaking. Yeah. God, scared the crap out of me. He was like, "Whoa!" right in my ear. Yeah. But with Sheeb, what I like about it so much, right? When it spikes, it spikes up for like a good month and it's done. I mean, it's great, right? So you just hold on to this sucker. You know it's going to spike. You know it's going to spike, and you know you have time to do it. If you look at the weekly chart, that happened within 2 weeks. That happened within about a month right there. This happened within 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, about a month right there as well. So it happens very, very quickly, but you have ample time to get out, and it spikes so fast, so hard that as long as you're selling after that first big week of spiking, you've made profit no matter really where you bought it, right? So like right now, let's say it spikes up again during an altcoin season. It'll probably hit somewhere at least over here, right? So that means anything you buy right now is going to be a great hold. And that's why I love Sheep, right? And it's a short window, and you can still reapply that to other tokens because this thing doesn't last too long compared to other tokens. Now again, even Bitcoin only goes up for like 3-4 weeks at a time, all right? But this one, just great for that. Pepe is just kind of like a long grinder where you can like, you don't have to worry about it necessarily like not going up for long periods of time. It's gonna grind up and up and up, and you can sell and take profits as you want to. Shiba is basically you're just kind of waiting and waiting and waiting for a big boom, and you sell the boom, and it's just different thought process. And I believe this was the 4 hour chart I kind of peeked up on here. See how much more reliable this is on Bitcoin than it is on the altcoins. You're gonna find that being the case for a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So like this is Ethereum. That one okay, that one okay. This is a little more like Bitcoin. That was okay, that okay, not good. That one okay right here, barely, but okay, yeah. No, right? Solana, a little bit more chop right here, a little bit more chop. Dogecoin, a little bit more chop, a little bit more chop. So far working out okay. Chop, okay, okay, chop, okay. Trump is interesting. Chop. Okay, this was in a downtrend here, so you're probably not going to trade, but this whole thing is a freaking downtrend, isn't it? Yeah, a little bit weird. All right, let me go back over here to the 4 hour chart. As Bitcoin hugs levels of resistance here. Boom, there we are. All right. Weather out here in Washington State is pretty nice. I don't know what the temperature is out today because I have a shady backyard, but currently 82 degrees. Oh, it's gonna rain Monday. Oh my God, that's gonna be great. I need some rain. It's been freaking hot. And hey, David, happy to see you. Whoop whoop. Same with you, Knoxville. Happy to see you too. Nice to know. Yeah, I know Pepe is holding up so far. Yeah, it's very good. Somebody messaged me. Oh, there you go. RP Custom. Sorry about that. I totally missed your message. Dude, I'm a certified health coach. Help me up if you need anything. Dude, I will. Yeah. What do you call? So far it's working out okay, but like, I'm hoping the energy stays the same because yesterday was so bad, but it only lasted, I wanted to say, for about 12 hours. After that 12-hour period, I'm back to normal. Give me a couple days, my gut's gonna be all cleaned out, and I'll be like, The hard thing is, I went to the, no, I haven't been to the lounge since I started fasting. I'm gonna go to the lounge eventually, maybe not today, but tomorrow. And I'm not gonna probably smoke for a minute, and I'm not going to drink any alcohol. I think I may just have to get like sparkling water with no sugar and regular water with a lime or something like that. That's gonna be the weird thing. I gotta find something to drink that's good. Maybe some tea or something. Like right now, I'm drinking this beautiful mixture right here is basically coffee, and I put some cinnamon in it, but I fucked up this round of coffee because normally I put the cinnamon at the bottom of the cup, put the hot coffee on top, then put it in some ice. This time I forgot to put the cinnamon inside, so it kind of like just sat on top and came all dusty, and so now it's all over the walls of my cup. Looks like remember when Austin Powers was drinking the nutty coffee, so to speak? You know, reminds me of that. At least it smells like coffee. But it absolutely is working. It's absolutely working for like just keep me like focused and whatnot. This rally seems FOMO. Well, yeah, anytime we're at all-time highs, it's gonna be a FOMO experience. Normally, if you want to just check it out, I always go off the fear and greed index. Right now, we're in greed 65. We're not in pure FOMO yet, right? Not pure euphoria, but things are looking very good. People are in a very good mood, and all you have to do is zoom out of the Bitcoin chart. Look at the weekly chart. We're so close to all-time highs. We're so close to all-time highs, and you can tell Bitcoin wants to break out right now with the CPI data, new trade deals, all that type of stuff. Really good stuff coming our way. It wants to break out. Now, will it? I think so, but definitely people are looking at Bitcoin but really holding altcoins, and altcoins are where everybody's like, eh. Ethereum still very far away from all-time highs. Nasty dip we had back over here in April. Now starting to break out. I would expect us not to go above this level of resistance around 4,000. If anything, we're just building another lower high for us to build off of, something like that, you know, somewhere over here. Solana, close to all-time highs, you know, doing a little bit better, but still pretty far away, unlike Bitcoin. Dogecoin still very far away from all-time highs for obvious reasons here. Trump token, black. Melania token, black. Melania token is trying to bottom out again. Will it? I don't know, but it's trying to bottom out. So this could be an opportunity again for those of you guys that want to hold on to it. I would say it's extreme risk, of course, for Melania token. A lot of tokens on here still oversold. Bonk. I mean, it's working like we thought. It is bouncing here and trying to go higher. Will it? I don't know. We'll have to leave that line on there. Most of my lines don't work out that cleanly, so. Miro's up a little bit as well with the past few weeks, but still, this is a very low market cap token. So, you know, you still have an opportunity to buy all those low market cap tokens. That's what I'm really been looking at so far. Like, sorry for the weird sucking sound. $500 million market cap, right? Aerodyne Finance, Grass. So Grass has been good over the past few months. Last 3 months been fine. AXL is up pretty well so far. Dog is up quite well. Ethereum Fi is doing okay. All-time high or Aether is doing fine. Down 20% year to date, but still, generally speaking, still doing fine. Morpho okay. Super maybe. Move not doing so hot, but maybe in the future. It's having a nice spike over the last few days, last few hours. Kato is okay. Sun is okay. Sun is something I should buy. That's a $381 million market cap company. It's up around, what, 20% last 60 days. I feel like I need to get some Sun, only because I don't really have that much exposure to the Tron meme coins, right? I don't think I have much exposure to it. And when we go over here and look at some of these meme coins that are popping out, ranking, right? Sundog market cap ranking is only 55 million. Pepe is 42 million. HTX Union is 30 million. Puss is 11.6. Tron Bull is 6. Tron T-Bull is up 3. Crypto Zillion Cub 2. Tronky is 1.6. Afro is 1.6, and Suncat is 1.3. You know, just, I don't know. I might have to grab a few of these tokens here. Not the Pepe one, I already have regular Pepe. But Sundog here, you know. Let's go to the daily chart. Had a big pump initially when it got launched, right? Been dying back down ever since. I wonder if this, what exchanges are this on here? It's on plenty. Yeah, BitUnX, Kraken, BingX, CoinW, Blowfin, KSX right here. Oh yeah, I did become an affiliate of KSX like some of you guys wanted, so I do have a link down below if you guys want to try it out. It does have some of the lowest fees in the exchange world, so just, you know, keep that in mind here. Weeks has it, so yeah, it's on a bunch of exchanges right now, so I could easily buy that here. And then the other one though, maybe HTX unit. I don't know what this one is though. Market cap 29 million. Raptron. That's not bad. That's not bad. So basically retail comes in, the original owners are slowly bleeding it, and the new wave comes in, then they slowly bleed it out. So you have to buy during these slow bleed out times and then wait for those larger moves to happen. So this market cap, okay, it's a smaller market cap. Caution, security scan. Let's see, Bitex. Doesn't know. Okay, that's fine for now then. Top 5 gainers, okay. Did I do something wrong? Glad this is the bangers watch list, but I just want to find no X account. Do the streaming. Some buys coming in every now and again. No Tron link. Maybe on Gecko Terminal? No, it doesn't have any links. No, that's not it. Found a Tron meme. I will ask my friends later on if they've heard of that token and if it's a good token, and I'll let you guys know, because I'm not seeing any links for Telegram, X, or our website. Kind of freaks me out a little bit, enough to not want to buy it, you know, but I'll have to see how that works out, right? There we go. Let's go back over here. Watch Bitcoin kind of move around a little bit more. What do you think about Tia? It's okay. It's been a grinder as far as big moves. When I like that about it. There you go. There we go. You know, so every now and again we get a nice little move right up here. They don't last long, just like most tokens. They only last for like, what, 2 to 3 weeks. But during those moves, if I can kind of point them out right here, you buy at the low point, it's at the top. That's still around 72%. They don't look like really big moves, but they are big moves. Like that's 90% right there. Even the smaller one over here, I think was still like, what, 30%, 40%? Yeah, 55, 54%. I didn't even go down to the wick, right? So those moves have been pretty good as long as you time them up correctly. But most of the time, you're not even looking at these weekly charts because it kind of has been dying down, heading for that big support level here. You've had to look at like the 1 hour charts and the 30-minute charts for some of those moves. Maybe I can actually show you that very fast. There you go. 1 hour chart, fine. That one worked fine. Fine. No. Fine. Fine. Good. No. Good right there. Good right there. Good right there. Good right there. So these moves, when, you know, they'd typically been okay. This wasn't a downtrend, so you wouldn't have actually taken that trade right there. But this one you would have, you might have got stopped at right there. If not, you went higher. That one I would say it worked, but it really wasn't a good one. Not a good one. Good one. Good one. Not a good one. Good one. Not a good one because it kind of went sideways afterwards. Not a good one. Oh, this was still doing a downtrend. Okay. Downtrend, of course. That one was fine. That one was fine. Bad. Good. Bad. Good. Good. Bad. Bad. Let's say bad for that one. Good 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 for that one in the beginning. Then it took a nasty little hit down. Good. Bad. So, you know, it's been pretty good so far, being a coin that's been kind of going down constantly though. I might consider long-term holding this, but only if it manages to actually get bullish here. And by bullish, I want to see it start to creep back above or get very, very close to the 20-week moving average, and then maybe you can kind of go into it. It's not on my list of big bangers or really the good things to buy, because if you go over to there you go. Sorry. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What was that? Let me do this first. There we go. See how like SPX 6900 has a bunch of green? It's been good for year to date, 90 days, 60 days, 30 days, 7 days, 8 days. Even the last hour has been okay so far. TIA has been kind of bad, worse, bad, horrible, oh my god, and then okay in the last 24 hours, right? So this hasn't been doing solid. I don't know why it hasn't been doing well. I don't really follow the token all too much, but damn, yeah, it's been in some trouble here. Let me go over to the X account and see what's going on. Account moved to Celestia, okay. The modular blockchain powering unstoppable apps with the full stack control. Go bigger, celestia.org.build. Tune in. Looks like they're doing stuff. It's just nobody cares about their token. That's what it seems like. And again, when you see a token like that's going down like that, it takes a lot for you to build up trust to really want to buy it. Like, that's the same thing what we're seeing with Matic right now, right? Down, down, down. Nobody really wants to buy it, an asset that going down like that. Now, sometimes like Mudang, like I said, my average for Mudang was like over here, right? All of a sudden we spike up within a week and all of a sudden we're good again, but that's a very hard thing to do. This is a meme coin. Meme coins are a little bit different, right? Tron, something I've been telling you guys I want to buy for a long time, or I have been buying for a long time. This is since 2022. This thing's been chugging and chugging and chugging and chugging and chugging. Cospa, kind of icky chart, but long term that sucker's been still going up, right? Ocean, choppy, 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 but you can still see a way for it to come back up. Mog, generally speaking, it's been going up. Turbo, been going up. Popcat, not so great, but at least it's been going sideways. XLM, sideways and up, maybe, you know. TIA just has not, if you look at it, it just doesn't look good, right? So when people look at a chart like that, they're like, I don't want to buy, and that stops a lot of retail investors from hopping in there to try to balance it out, make the shorts get out of it and things like that. This is not going to happen for a while. Definitely euphoric. Yes, yes, yes. Retail buying is already passed. What do you call it? No, retail this cycle has been very, very slow. It feels like very, very, very slow. I mean, I think there's just been a lot more panicking this cycle because of all the extra chop. I don't even think, well, maybe it's just, you know, it's not COVID. There's not as many people just sitting at their houses with extra money from the government to be tossing into the crypto market. And that's obviously part of it. But I don't know. I just feel like retail hasn't really been in it this cycle compared to last time. You know what I mean? Ooh, made a mistake not mixing that cinnamon with the hot coffee. And hey, Lisa, happy to see you. Hope you're doing very, very well. Loki's over here sleeping on the floor because he had a fun day of playing outside. He hears my name, so he's wagging his tail a little bit. Oh, yeah, he heard me. I have a tiny treat for you if you want a tiny treat. Yeah. That's all I got. Yeah, I know, right? That's all I got. Ooh. Keep on getting dog hair in my beard. It's getting crazy with it. All right, we're looking for a trade right now, but my gosh, nothing's happening. So what I decided to do is anytime, once I'm at my computer throughout the day and I'm kind of like doing my own trading, if I open up a trade, what I'm gonna do is just hold it open for you guys when I go live. So like a personal trade I did today was, I bought this right here on the 5 and I sold it right below this change of character line right here because I wasn't sure if it was gonna break out. And that was my trade. With you guys, maybe I'll just open up that same trade on another account and then probably less leverage, less money because there's a higher risk to leave it open for so long. And then I'll just let it sit until I go live with you guys, and then I'll just have the stop loss here or here, you know, wherever that last tranche is, I'll have that stop loss. So maybe instead of 50x leverage, I'll do 20x leverage. But if I see something open up on a wall live with you guys, then I'll make it 50x leverage, a couple $100 and kind of see where that money kind of flows for us. Because right now I'm having a hard time ever doing all this trading with you guys because these scalps are going to eat me alive with fees. I need to have a swing like that where it goes up. I think it was just like 3 hours or something like that. Not even, what? I was down for 40 minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes, not even. All right, so I think that's probably the better way to do it. All right, let me hop on over here though, very fast. I want to see if there's any news happening right now. Blake, who the heck is Blake Monroe? Mariah to Blake Monroe. I don't know who that is, what that is. I feel like I don't know much about the culture anymore. Maybe because I'm getting older, you know what I mean? Well, even when I was young, I didn't know the culture. Arizona's is the only tea. I haven't had Arizona only tea for a while. To celebrate National Iced Tea Day, we're giving away the only thing that matters, iced tea. Retweet and reply with hashtag Arizona's the only tea for a chance to win a year's supply of Arizona tea. Damn, that seems pretty cool. If only I could drink it. It's not diet approved right now. Oh, it was trending. #1 trending, and we don't have celebrity spokespeople. Luna, Brad Bird. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. Let's see. Matt Turner. Walmart, Fort Bragg. No, okay. Well, let's just look at Bitcoin then for a second while we kind of see if there's anything going on because this is rough. There we go. We already watched some of the Bloomberg stuff. Remember when Bitcoin was at 57K and Germany sold it for euros, a money they can't print? A money they can print, sorry, yeah. Oh, what do you call The Matrix? I haven't seen that movie in freaking forever. I love it though. My favorite person is like the architect in there. So this is the brain explosion moment, you know? Peterson, if Bitcoin is ramping up exponentially, why won't Bitcoin just suck the investment capital out of everything? Saylor says it is, and it will. That's why I'm here. Interesting. Back it up one, and let's back it up one more time to 200%. There you go. 150,000 Bitcoin inbound. Looking at money supply. Nah, that's not the best indicator, but I do like to see money supply going higher, yes. Apple should buy Bitcoin. They should, but they won't. They're too afraid of that type of stuff. Bank pin code, Bitcoin private key. Yeah, but that's such a hard thing to remember, especially the 12 numbers and stuff like that. The code. Oh, interesting. Connecticut passes law to ban state investment in Bitcoin. HB 7082 prohibits the state from accepting, holding, or investing any virtual cryptocurrencies. Why do they do that? Yeah, I understand not liking it, but there's no reason to, by law, like put a restriction on your own state. You know what I mean? They must really hate Bitcoin. I don't understand the hate for Bitcoin. I can understand if it's not your cup of tea. I just don't understand why you would have to like draw those lines. Like that sounds like something like personal, right? The new browser extension called Opportunity Cost changes the prices of internet into price on internet to Bitcoin. 24.44 Bitcoin. Oh damn, that's an actually expensive house. That's a crazy expensive house. 334,000 sats. Okay, that's not too bad. That's like what, 34 bucks. Let's see. XRP, the last asset for stupid clowns. Bitcoin was earning. Damn, people really don't like XRP at all. Bitcoin will never fail. Well, it's not going to fail, but it will go down eventually. We'll kind of built on Bitcoin. Everybody's getting hyped up. Bitcoin is the hardest thing in the universe to hack. They'll hack your bank, Google, and Microsoft accounts first because there's an order of they're an order of magnitude weaker. Damn. If they save $1,000 in Bitcoin for each newborn baby, it would grow to nearly 85,000 by the time they turn 18, assuming a CAGR of 29%. Jesus. Turbulent flow region. Oh, this is interesting. Let me see. It's on the path to 200K. What we need is an average return of about 0.39% per day. Let's double the average. Okay. Yeah, we haven't gone into crazy times. He's calling for a peak in about 5 months. That makes sense. I mean, I don't know if I would call the peak exactly in 5 months, but at least he has the balls to say, you know, hey, I think we're gonna have a peak soon. And Intel Pepe is super bullish. That's why I hold it. Pepe's been good. Bonk's been okay. Whiff has been fantastic. Turbo's been fantastic. Fartcoin I haven't really gotten into too much yet, but I need to get more of it in there. And then there's a few more I need, but you know, I take it easy as far as I'm concerned right now. Dollar cost averaging is much easier for my soul, my anxiety. Just a little bit buying in now. A few $100 this week, maybe $1,000 next week if we, you know, we're booming or something like that. And then once we start really booming, I'm like, oh, I'm selling some here, selling some here, selling some here. That's why I do the daily streams as well, to kind of say, hey guys, don't forget to lock in the profits, because those profits are absolutely important. Absolutely important. Let me back this up very fast. There we go. Okay. Democratic Party, Republican Party, Bitcoin. There you go. Yeah, I could vibe with that one. Bitcoin is my problem with federal politics is that I think more people should be concerned about their local politicians, right? Connecticut passes oh yeah, accepting cryptocurrency. Why did they do that? I don't understand why they did that. Actually, let me go. Let me type this in here. Why did they do this? Seems crazy to me. Let's see. So, consumer and fiscal risk protection. The bill requires virtual currency licenses to hold assets equivalent to customer holdings, provide clear disclosures, receipts, and cap fees, and strong anti-money laundering measures. By banning state investment, Connecticut shields public funds from crypto's notorious volatility, irreversibility, and liquidity risks. So they're really stopping parts of the state from investing in Bitcoin. That's going to be crazy. You're going to see states like Tesla and Texas and California, Florida, all making big money. Democrat and Republican states making good money off of it. And then you see these guys. But this is old money. This is not like Connecticut's not a place where like you go to make money, all right? Utah, India, and Oklahoma have exported established strategic Bitcoin reserves and public funds. Yes, yeah, well, they need more money, right? Private price swings, regulatory holes. So if you're old school safe money, this is why. That's basically what ChatGPT is telling me right now. There we go. All right. I was looking at that Benjamin Cohen chart you posted. It looks like the gap between the 200 and the previous all-time high is shrinking. What does that mean? Oh, it just means the market cap is so high that it just takes that much more money to get us to pump that much higher every single time, right? So you're probably going to see it grind like the rest of the market to a certain degree, right? It'll have its ups and downs every few years when a crisis comes along, but generally speaking, it'll start to turn very boring, like a Nasdaq, SPY, Dow Jones Industrial Average, and then after that, you may see a more consistent opportunity for altcoins to pop off and do their crazy things, and there'll be more altcoin big moves. If you recall back in 2021 when we were having like this kind of the last big cycle that we had, not all altcoins were booming at the same time. We saw some altcoins booming, like, you know, metaverse tokens were booming, then it was layer 2 Ethereum tokens booming, and then it was not AI tokens, what was it, eco tokens blowing up, and then there was like dog meme tokens blowing up, and there was cat meme tokens blowing up, right? All of that happened one after the other. I feel like this money was just kind of moving around. I think that's probably more of like what we're gonna see. So like we're probably not going to be holding as many altcoins in the future unless they're like a good project, right? Like meme coins are going to be a little more difficult to trade in the future. But let's say that Dogecoin just launches out of nowhere and starts going crazy. You might see sympathy across other dog tokens or Doge on Mars, so you have to hurry up and get into those tokens before it's too late, right? And then, you know, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, and just kind of keep track of what sectors are moving fast. In that type of scenario, that's where we start to use the software, like not even software, just a website like a Crypto Slate, right? Right, where today advertising is up 2%, business services up 3%, Binance Alpha is up 3%. So maybe with Binance Alpha, you're looking, oh, these tokens are making some moves. Is there something that hasn't made a move yet, like Next Space is down a little bit, or 48 Club token that's just okay? Maybe that looks for an opportunity to have a big boom to kind of go along with everything else. This is a bad example because it's all Binance stuff, but like insurance tokens, right? You see how a few of them, these are low market caps, of course, really low market caps, but they're all pretty similar, having like really good days, right? One of these probably started off having a good day and everything else kind of followed along with it. You just have to find like generative AI. Let's say that Tau just goes freaking insane, right? Or Render goes absolutely insane. You'd probably see some sympathy from some of these other tokens here, and that's good. Alpha AI, that's only $6 million market cap, but you know, maybe FOB, maybe the best one. RLC is down here too. NMR, these are all tokens that I own, of course. High risk though, very, very high risk tokens for these ones, but they made me money in the past, so I put a little bit of money inside of them, right? Grok has been dying for a while, but maybe I'll get into this one. These ones are just so small though, so small. I think the other AI token I got into, it's not on this list. I think it's on the plain AI list. Siren IQ. The real AI list is a lot more tokens, right? Where is it? It's been going down the last week since we kind of bought it, but it had to spike earlier, that's why. But this one, it's like the sexy robots. Now they say it's a virtualized AI, but they are sexualizing this AI a whole bunch, and that's why I call it sexy robots. Wait till you get to it. Based on reactions. Right, so they do all this type of stuff. Alright, they could have put her in a conservative outfit. Where's the video though? Okay, well there was a video that made them look very over-sexualized. We don't have to watch that video though. Ali, synthesis, purchase, customized items, casting, data dissemination, backup. Like you can put a better outfit on your AI bot, I guess. Let's see. Amy API release, that's what they're working on right now. Amy closed beta, prime API release, okay, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, they got Steam VR Secretary. Was that where we saw it? I've had a secretary before. I never found myself in this type of situation with her. Right? If anything, she would always just complain to me about her husband. See what I mean? See what I mean? That is a little wild for me. However, I know there's a marketplace for that. I know there's a marketplace. So getting in that $200 million market cap, it's a YOLO, but it's a YOLO built off of lust. You know, we'll have to see how this goes out. We're having a slight breakdown right now. We might have a bearish change of character. He'll have to wait to see what happens in the next few minutes. Oh, did the 1 minute turn red? Oh, we had a green that didn't work out. Interesting. I'll wait for this 2 minutes to go down. I want to see what happens here. But I'll lever up a $200 trade right here, ready to go. I want to wait for that close because we're at a big level of resistance right now. Probably why that long right there didn't work out. But how is the momentum? Oh, yeah, momentum has been dead on the since last hour. Momentum has been dead, so you wouldn't have been making any trades anyway. Again, we're not looking at a prime awesome chart to be trading right now, and that's okay. How's the 15 look in this circumstance though? That's bearish too. 1 hour is getting bearish, 30 minutes almost bearish. Yeah, look at that breakdown about to happen. Yeah. Yeah. Do I want to wait for it to peak back up again before dropping to open up a short? I just want to follow that. We'll wait another minute just in case. Yeah, no worries. Can't help it to help you out. It is interesting though, you know. It is very, very interesting to think about how that pattern really works itself out. I wonder how long I should hold this because the last move was down for a little bit. See how it turned red and it kind of popped back up before going down even more? This one went down temporarily, slow slug. That one went down a little bit more. That one went down pretty nice. Yeah, it's been working out okay the last few times. The 5 is... Oh, that one didn't work out well. Most of them. "37 seconds. Let's see. Is it really green or is it not? That's the question here. Oh, there's a support level right here. This would be a quick in and out scalp. "20 seconds left. All right, let me go back over here. I'm thinking once I have my once I have that thing on Friday where I can pedal while I'm sitting down, I may start to stream up at noon and go till 7 and have like a full work day with you guys, minus like a half an hour break for like bathroom, Loki playtime and stuff like that. Maybe I'll eat an egg that day or something like that. There we go, new day. Doop-a-doo, doop-a-doo, short. Did it open up? Okay, good. We'll see how this works out. Now this is more of a mixed bag right now because we're only trying to short it for a short amount of time here because we're already heading back down to a support. So you might see a bounce up and then continue going down, which means that'll last until like after the stream is over an hour. But there's an opportunity there, I would say, right now. There we are. Let me see. Back this up a little bit here. There we go. I like waiting for that 5 minutes to have a confirmation there. Even though you can see it didn't actually turn the candle red. Now it's having this candle be the red candle. Interesting. we're up 0.8%, very small move so far. About $5.70 to open up the trade here. If it goes up, I wonder if I should double down. I'd still expect tomorrow to be higher. That's why I'm not really looking forward to looking for some big move or something like that. Let me move this over here a little bit more. And I feel like I need to have a way for me to move this over towards the right and then just have the profit loss on the screen somewhere. Because what I want to do is I want to make this thing smaller right here. But it's just kind of too big. Maybe I can make it smaller. Let me see. I feel that might be too small for you guys, but I think for now it's fine. I just don't like it. Feels like it has a lag on it. I don't like that lagging effect it has. You see how my hand is smooth because I paid a lot for the camera, right? All the software, it's all good. This thing feels like it's glitching. Yeah, it feels so weird. I might have to get rid of that here soon anyway. I just wanted to test it out to see how it would look. And so far, I mean, I like the way it looks. I just don't like the slowness of it. It feels like the frames per second are off a little bit more, right? All right. When we get pushed down a little bit more, maybe I'll go for now. I'll go back to, how do we have this before? You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this because I just don't like having this, changing this over and over again. Make a copy. Do trading with YouTube community. 1 and 5 minute. Let's just do 2. And that way we can go from 4 to 2 without me having to adjust everything every time and me being pissed off. I can play around with it a little bit, okay? That's my little thing here. And then we can have that right here, and we're looking okay. And we're up. We're only up $1, $2, right? So we still got a while to go. We literally just opened the position, but you know, I really want fast, easy money. I wish the world worked like that, right? There you go. It's still going down. Maybe we're up to $4. Yeah, we are. We're up to $4 now. Yeah. Or 2%, right? So. And again, in a perfect world, maybe I would have shorted over here or something like that. I usually just, this is just kind of a way to watch the momentum and stuff like that. I think we're going to do this for a month of Lux Algo back and forth to kind of see where the profit ends up. And then we'll shift to another type of strategy going forward. I just don't know what that strategy is going to be yet, but I think it's going to be a mix of momentums and just maybe buying at support, stuff like that, like order block selling, you know. That could be interesting, but maybe order blocks with momentum, if you will, kind of what we're doing now. See, yeah, there we go. Now we're up $5 or 3%. This is a 50x leverage position, so that really tells you how little we really have moved. Yeah, up 3% here. But you know, I'll take it. We're hitting the order block right now. What is this? Equal lows. Oh yeah, so. This is where people are going to start to scale out of their positions or sell if they shorted anywhere over here. I wouldn't be surprised if we bounce up before breaking down over here on the 1 minute chart. So just keep an eye out for that one. We'll see. 5 minutes still bearish though, which is nice to see. Ooh, excuse me. Guys, burping with this coffee drink here. Cinnamon and coffee is not a bad combination. It just has to be mixed properly. It's a lot better than having loose leaf tea in yet, if you ask me. Yeah, if I'm holding this for now, I'm probably looking to have a price target somewhere around 109,500, so maybe about another $200 loss here. Even if it takes a little bit of time, like another pump like that and a down, that's probably the move I'd be looking to make. Now for this though, with the 2 moves that we have, let's do a stop loss of 1,010.68. Oh God. There you go. There you go. That's a profit loss of 16% basically. Sell that. That's basically a loss of $31. We don't need to have a price target right now. I think we'll eyeball that in here. There you go. And there's that little bounce we were talking about just now. So I got R&B music playing in the background because I needed more music besides EDM. I've actually been using my stereo system for the first time in a while. Not first time in a while, but like over the past few months I've started to use it again, and I forgot why I spent all the money, and like now I realize why I spent so much money on that entertainment system, because everything is crisp and clean and fits a vibe, you know, fits a vibe. Alright, let's see how big this little pop is. Hopefully it doesn't have to be that big, we can just keep on going down, but we'll have to see. Got another 2 minutes here. If we don't push down those 2 minutes, we're gonna have a little bit more of a pop here, which will be a little bit more annoying. But again, these are very small moves we're trading because we're at a big level of resistance. We're in the middle of a consolidation. We're at the high points of a consolidation, so you feel better about shorting in that zone, right? Do I use a VPN to trade leverage? No, I do not. Nope, I don't. I always felt kind of risky about doing that. So the ones I have listed down below, be careful, I don't want you to drink coffee, that'd be crazy. The ones I have listed down below, they're in my description. You don't need KYC for them, and you don't need a VPN for them. Now, if you want to give them your information, you might need a VPN for some of them, but most of them you just don't give them your KYC and you're good to go, right? And I think you can still withdraw up to 100,000, 125,000 bucks in a day. If you do KYC, I think it goes up to like 500,000. But like, how many of you guys really want to withdraw 100,000 bucks out of an exchange a day? How many of you guys really even want to hold 1,000 bucks in the exchange in a day, right? Not really me. So Celsius burned you? Yeah, Celsius burned a lot of people. Even you know, Bitboy lost millions in Celsius, millions and millions and millions. It was a really, really rough time for a lot of people when that went down. Oddly enough, when that exchange went down, I was actually blindsided because I had never heard of it before. I was so busy with BitGet, being, you know, all into BitGet, and I was really into no, it was just BitGet at the time. Yeah, back in the last cycle, it was a lot of BitGet. That I just not see it coming. I'm glad BitGet survived, because I would have lost a lot of money out of that shit. I lost some money out of Voyager, and then there was oh, what else was there? Voyager. There was a few other exchanges that fell back way back in the day, right? But yeah, it was just a chaotic mess. And again, all that really started off with what do you call it? Interest rates and stuff going higher and higher and higher. Definitely a brutal time for a lot of people out there. Definitely a brutal time. All right, here we go. Bitcoin's getting a little bit of a surge right now. Hope it doesn't hit my stop loss. We're about like $1,000 away from it right now, but still, I don't want to hit my stop loss. Oh man, a little bit of fun happening though. We'll see how this one works out. 7 seconds left for the new minute chart. I'm curious to see how high this goes. Because after a move like that, it should go a little bit higher, shouldn't it? A little igniter candle like that, you know? Let's see. On the 5-minute chart right there, you can actually see the order block there as well. So you can see where the actual level of resistance is, not necessarily just my line right there. But let's see if this actually holds on or not. So it's 6:15 right now. We had another 45 minutes. Ooh, the sun's hitting my face. I feel warm all of a sudden. What's a good price target for us on this trade, though? 109.5. Am I making enough profit at 109.5 though? See, typically I'd have all this stuff done ahead of time, right? 9%. I'm making $17 back. So that's $7 probably. That's not really a lot, but I guess for scalping, that's fine for just the show of it. Yeah. So why don't I 109,450. 109,450. A little bit more. 109,450. Okay, confirm. Oh yeah, that's always fine. There you go. So a little price target right there. Oh. Okay, that's happening faster than I thought it was going to work. Okay, that's interesting. I thought I was going to take a little bit of time to do it. Nope, apparently not. Went up faster than I thought. Slowing, going down faster than I thought too. Ooh. Ooh. Do you guys have any plans for tonight? I'm gonna go to the cigar lounge and drink water, and no, soda water. I'm gonna be fancy. I'm gonna drink some soda water, some whatever you call it, sparkling water. I'm gonna chill and maybe smoke a cigar if I feel like it. I don't know if I'm gonna feel like it after this fasting type of stuff I've been doing. Oh, common thing for those people who normally don't day trade and they saw that type of position being taken by me, a lot of times because they didn't short all the way up at the top over here and they kind of waited for momentum, they might have had a slight panic right here and sold just for it to go back down. Happens more than you think. I don't know why people do it as much anymore, but it does happen to a certain degree. Just so you guys know. So this is why I tell you guys, if I'm trading, you guys don't have to trade with real money like I am. I would actually say most of you guys should just go over to the demo trading and play with the fake money. I feel like that's also a really good thing to do for a lot of people, because this could definitely take a while and it's not going to just be an easy, clean opportunity for us to hit that target price that I have right here, right? So maybe if you want to go over to demo trading, that's the trade from yesterday where we made 27 bucks. Right? Maybe you're like, oh yeah, let me toss in, you know, $2,000 at 50x leverage, and we're gonna short it, even though it's still at this little bottom area. All right, this is more of a fake money one, but larger account, right? We can kind of play around with this a little bit more. Get rid of this little line here because now it's all gonna look kind of funky. At least I got the support right. There we go. Well, yeah, why not? We are trying to break down right here, which is why it's so annoying to try to open up a position. There we go. I'll take the choppiness though. It's willing to do it. I just don't want to see a double bottom form with a breakout here going back to green, because that could lead us back up here towards a larger push towards 110,000, right? And then eventually it'll still fall down. But that could stop me out before the fall down happens, right? Which is why I'm doing $200 positions, not 500. You guys know what I'm really excited about a move, because it'll be $500 position with 50x leverage. I still think we can have a jolt of a move down. I still think we can have that move down right here. I still think we can. Even if it's choppy for a while, I do think we can have that move down and then have a larger move. Maybe I'm being stupid for having my stop loss here. Maybe I should have my stop loss there. But I'm trying to day trade with you guys, not open it up until a multi-day swing where I have to check on it tomorrow, right? That's the difference in how this different strategies are kind of being worked out right now. Hey Lisa, watching the chaos in the city near me, LA. Yeah, LA's in a shit show right now. Didn't they, what do you call them? The man seen distributing tens of thousands of dollars worth of face shields in LA to other riders has been identified as Alejandro Orellano. Brown Berets, a radical Latino paramilitary group. LA jewelry store owner whose shop was looted last night. It's horrible. Years of work all gone. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Damn, they took everything. Everything. You need it. What do you call it? You need insurance. Timber shit calls for the looters to be shot on sight. Damn, you loot, we shoot. That's what the Koreans did back in the day, and it worked pretty effectively. Officers attacked multiple people looting a store in Los Angeles finally. Well, damn, they're not really stopping many people, are they? They got one person under all that? Man, you gotta start tasing. Oh, there they are. Okay, they're there. I'd say tase, 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 tase. Damn. Oh, yeah, there's just so much violence going on right now. It's absolutely, look at those cars. They burnt down to the ground. How's Bitcoin doing? There we go. Come to me, baby. Come to me, baby. Come to me. See, if I was doing larger positions, it'd already be 50 bucks. But that 50 bucks isn't even as much as the fees, right? The fees are what you guys got to be wary of when it comes to, oh, I did 49x leverage. I should have done 69x leverage. But yeah. Yeah. Sorry, that was just a funny joke. But yeah, real position is up 6% right now at 12 bucks, which is nice. So even if we sold right now, we'd still make a profit. Mayor Karen Bass issues a curfew in Los Angeles from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Oh, interesting. This is our city, and this was Mexico. You can't kick us out of the land that was ours. Bro, you lost that in a big old war with Santa Ana. Santa Ana. I love that movie, but yeah, you lost that war. Downtown Jewelry Mart. I can't blame them. Funny thing is, you know, there's probably Hispanics putting up that wall to stop from other Hispanics, right? Speaking as somebody who is half Hispanic, right? I know a lot of immigrants. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's wild. I'd be safe too, yeah. I'd be boarding up shit. Security ain't gonna do nothing when the mob comes rolling through. It's just so much damage. That's the sad thing. There's so many damage because, you know, that's just people's businesses. What happened to her? Damn. Oh, damn. Holy shit, she got knocked out. Replay. Boom. Bro had her back, or his back. Boom. Damn. Boom. Put him in the UFC now. He's a better boxer than everybody over there. Shit. Why would you just choose to hit a cop? You know that guy was being very restrained. If you guys have seen Cops, they don't have to be that restrained. I watch that show every now and again at the Cigar Lounge, the PD Live, you know? Those cops are doing crazy stuff. Like maybe 1 out of 10 cops on that show is bad cop, if you ask me. But the other 9, they're chill. They're trying to help you do what you got to do. Russia rider who was thrown opposite in the situation heats up in Los Angeles. Oh, interesting. They got him. Oh, damn. They got the mask on, gas masks on. Shit. Okay, how are we looking? Still going down lower. We're getting close to our price target here. We'll see if I was too greedy or not in a little bit. And then we have the demo trading one over here, which is a little bit larger, a little bit of a shorter term trade. Theoretically, you should, like, remember when I opened up the trade, I was like, should I open the trade right now as it's going negative, or red, or should I wait for the pump and then get in on the pump? You're supposed to get on the pump. I don't like doing that because sometimes with my ADHD, I just forget about the trade, and then oh, the pump already happened and I missed out on it. So that's also something interesting. All right, so that one's up a little bit, like just 3% or something like that. But damn, yeah, they're getting some work done today. There's some peaceful protesting over there. Looting. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, going in and stealing. New York is turning out different. This is what it looks like when Mayor and Chief Police gives orders to arrest, and that's what's happening in LA. Damn, what do you call it? They're going. Look at the army of cops. Look at the press there. You know what I mean? It's mostly just press at these places a lot of times. Everybody wants to get their footage or video, so it's like there's more press than there is actual protesters. Damn. Still, this was probably the craziest time of the week. Pow. And that could be Ricky. I've been fine with weeks on withdrawals. I haven't had any issues. Let me see. me see. Bump, ba bump, ba bump, 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 ba bump, ba bump. Let me go over here. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Go over here very fast. Let me see. 521074. Let me pull up a separate account on a different Google account. No, I've been withdrawing money a lot. I withdrew some today. I withdrew some on the 8th, the 6th, the 5th, the 3rd, the 1st, the 30th. Now this is probably one of my smaller accounts, but I've been withdrawing money there, no problem. I haven't had any issues so far. So if you have an issue, let me know and I can always relay it to my contact over there. I know one of the higher ups, so a few of the higher ups actually. But yeah, but let me know. I'm looking at mine. I haven't had any issues whatsoever. Everything's been good. It's all Tether, of course, but been fine. Oh, what was that? I missed it. Is that a bubble gun? That seems like fun. Now, they're saying that this isn't, like, sure, she's not causing issues, but I mean, like, obviously these people are causing issues. That's the problem with social media right now. Social media destroys any narrative that the mainstream media kind of pushes out there. It just doesn't work for them. It doesn't work at all because, like, oh yeah, it's peaceful protests. All they have to do is go on TikTok or anything, and it's just a complete shit show. Like CNN, yeah, they were trying to say it was just a peaceful protest, and I was like, bro, this ain't no peaceful protest. This is fucking riots. Riots. A little bit more of a pump going on right now. Again, hitting that support level here, playing around and see what happens. But again, kind of just chilling out and waiting. You okay, boy? I don't have one last treat for you, but this is the last treat I have for you. I have to go buy some more treats for you tomorrow. Yeah. You got some dirt on you. Literally, he's covered in dirt all over. He's been digging holes and just, like, doing dirt baths in them. Here, come on. Don't get it. I don't know if it's something when he was a puppy, but he just knows that he needs to get a toy before I'm allowed to play with him. He needs to have a toy in his mouth because he gets so excited. Which I kind of appreciate that he does it so he doesn't bite me. But then at the same time, he really wants to do that, right? There we go. Okay. Now just waiting. We're gonna bounce here? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. We've had one support level here, two support levels. We've broken down off of this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if we try to make a higher low over here before making another move down. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that. To me, though, I don't want to have it because I think my stop loss is set to here and not here. Realistically, my stop loss should be set here, and realistically, my price target should be set way down here instead of like right over here. But because I'm streaming with you guys, I always adjust my thought process because I want the trade to be closed while I'm live with you, to show you guys the beginning and the end. But what's been happening so often is when I open up a trade, it usually doesn't work out until like well after I'm done streaming, right? But yeah, it could definitely bounce from here, make another higher low. As I'm looking at this, it still seems pretty bearish, but I wouldn't be surprised if it tries to go back above like 109,855 or something like that. But again, in the scheme of things, we're in the process of having a breakdown on this trend line right here. What we're looking at is just the small portion that just started to break down right there, right? So we still have a few different breakdown opportunities, right? That's why I'm so close to getting out of this one here. There's one right there. this one over here. This is the big one, but it's so far away, nobody cares about it for now, right? Consolidate, consolidate, consolidate. The one I'm mostly looking for is we can consolidate back down here towards 109,000 before making a larger breakout. And that breakout can happen as early as like what here, which is like market open tomorrow. But I can still see it's dip, but I still expect this again later on. I still expect us to have a larger breakout here. Right now we're just in this consolidation moment. We can leave it on here just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Or better yet, maybe I should, no, I like it more on the 1 hour chart because you just see the different candles on there, right? 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning over here, big boom. You can see the resistance level over here. We should possibly be able to break out above 112,000, go to some nice levels, and of course start going towards all-time highs if we just get a good CPI data or something like that, right? I would not be holding this short overnight, right? Just because, I wouldn't be holding many trades overnight unless they were longer term trades with no leverage. A leverage trade overnight is the issue with this one right here. They're going to be every big city. Seattle is next. I hope not. I hope not, because what do you call well, I don't live close enough to Seattle to care at this point. But yeah, it'll be rough. I go to Seattle every now and again, but that's just because I have that membership at the Columbia Tower Club. And maps, Seattle. So I go up here every now and again just for where's that? Just for that building right there. I have a membership at the Columbia Tower, which is up at the very top. But oh, won't let me go forward anymore. There we go. What the heck is going on? Well, you know what I'm talking about. But no, I like being in the South Sound over here a lot more. It's a lot easier, a lot more fun. You're close to the mountains, you're close to the lakes. Like me and Loki went on a walk over here a few weeks ago and just, you know what I mean? Loki gets to go swimming. I can actually see what's in the freaking water, so I know if he's getting into danger or not. He gets to run around a little bit here. He's nice with other people, so that's good to go. He's nice with other dogs, which is good. I mean, but just talk about being out there in nature and having a good time. And there's a bunch of other lakes over here. We also go to Lake Kapowsin, which is right. No, that's Tanawax. Here's Kapowsin right here, right? And this is a smaller lake. Maybe not as nice as I would say as the other lake that I showed you guys, but you know, it's there. It's peaceful. Just, you know, I mean, look at all those freaking trees. Washington is great for all this type of natural stuff that we have. But, you know, people like to stay in the city. I'm more of a, what do you call? I'm more of a, you know, South Sound guy. There's so much stuff over here. When Loki was a puppy, we used to go walking up here in the Capitol State Forest. But now there's too many hunters and stuff like that out here, so I don't like taking them out there as much. But there's these nice trails you can walk, right? This guy's on a bike, but you can go walking on any type of trail you want to. The cars are very safe. You go over here. I'm trying to find a clearing. Oh, this is snowy. We're definitely not going up in the snow. But you know, there's lots of areas. This area is actually a shit show to be around if you're in a car. Here we go. There's a clearing. Right. Nice little area. Walk around, chill out. There's areas full of trees, and there's areas like this where there's nothing, and it's just like really freaking peaceful. I wish I could find another photo though. Oh, here we go. Everybody sits along these when they're hunting. That's why. So you got the woods right behind you if you want to go through the woods. Loki likes going to the woods every now and again. But you also just got these areas where it's just like, it's nice. You know, you get a nice view. I even have a bunch of photos of me standing on top of the mountain, and the backdrop is the Puget Sound. So you can see all the water all the way over here for miles because of how high this mountain is, right? You don't get those photos too often in many spots. Can I take a look at the others on the weekly? The other what? Other what on the weekly? You want us to look at Bitcoin on the weekly or the technicals? And yeah, let me know exactly what you mean by there, and I'm happy to help you out. I'm gonna have to try to find out more information about this token here. I'm gonna save that for later though. Mexican nationals alongside Antifa have completely surrounded the federal building in Los Angeles. Not an American flag in sight. There's an American flag. I see it. Don't lie to me. I see them in the back. They're just very hidden. There's one over there. There's one over there. There's one over there. There's one over there. One over there. They're there. There's just a lot more Mexican flags. A lot more Mexican flags. A lot more Mexican flags. Federal judge sides with Trump over Newsom will not force Trump to withdraw National Guard and Marines. Let's see. Yeah, that was obvious. Only one group has empirically shown the ability to save Los Angeles. Dude, they were packing. They were packing back in the day. All right. So far, we're still kind of consolidating here. As far as my price target, we're getting closer to it, I think. This is the fake trade, so we don't have a stop loss or price on that one. The real trade is over here, and we're getting closer. We're getting closer. If we're lucky, the next surge should take us up. Ooh, I chose 109.450. I should have chose like 109.455 or something like that, because usually people have those orders set there, right? But yeah, so that's the way we're going right now. So far, it's okay. Honestly, the way this is looking, I probably would move my stop loss like slightly to like here instead of being back over here, just to protect myself. But I won't do that just for now. But that's just something I would normally do. When I'm looking at a trade, I'm like, damn, this thing is taking a little bit longer than I want it to be taking, right? Oh, the ticker is others. The ticker is others. Interesting. Okay. Oh, total market cap. Damn, I don't even call it others though. I guess because I'm only looking at it on I only look at it on coinmarketcap.com. They have the same. There we go, right here, right? Let me go back over here very fast. We're still fine right now. We're starting a bullish sense. You can see we got bullish here a few weeks ago, just like Bitcoin, and all of a sudden everything has been working out in our favor here. Let me bounce at that. Bullish, bullish, bullish is all good. We've had a small breakout here the last few weeks, and we've actually been hugging that trend line. It looks like we're ready for another big move. But we're already breaking out and moving above the moving average here, which means a lot of the volatility that we're expecting is happening this week and probably won't happen next week unless we go down. The monthly chart is also showing some volatility here. That's probably the best indicator we have. Higher lows, higher highs. We're still chilling here. You can either look at it like from that point of view, or more realistically, something more like that. Right? So we're still doing fine. We're at the bottom part of it. I wouldn't be surprised, obviously, because I think we're going to go higher over the next few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to boom up here and probably again start to have some issues as we approach $340 billion. Yeah, that's been a big level of resistance for us for a very, very long time. Now, we've been able to break above it in the past, but, you know, looking at this chart, more of a mad type of prospect, I would say. There we go. Yeah, we're taking a minute to fall down here. This is taking long. I don't like that little curvature right here. To me, that symbolizes more of a larger move, unless a whale comes down and gives it a big push, which I don't see why they would do that at this point in time. There's not really any whales trading like exactly what I traded. They probably did open up that trade right here, and they're still fine with the consolidation here. Yeah, I'd like to see a big little push come down. Yeah, no worries. It still looks good. I mean, that overall, that's still good for cryptocurrency, right? Now, hopefully, there's a lot more money being pumped into altcoins. That way, we can make some money off of it. But yeah, overall, it's still a really good spot. Anything else in Los Angeles? Crayons. This is still the most iconic portion of the entire riot so far. Those cars. Look at that. I love fire and I like smoke, and just look at that plume of smoke coming out. And that's electric car battery smoke, right? That's electric fire. That type of shit, all these people smoking it in, they don't know the problems they're gonna have later on in their life from smoking all that crap. That's gonna be absolutely insane right there. These are old stuff, really old stuff. Feed me downtown Los Angeles. Oh, hell no, that'd be crazy. Ice Raid Spark. Anti-ice to set car on fire. Yeah, that's yeah. This is the same thing as like remember back in the day, you watch the cowboy movies and the people would ride through town just shooting up stuff and lighting stuff on fire, and they would ride the horses around in a few circles, then kind of vamoose. That's kind of what that reminds me of, because I love my westerns. I love my westerns. Yeah, we're in a crucial 5-minute candle here. We're in a very crucial 5-minute candle here. We want to keep this trend going down here with a nice flush, but it seems like it wants to go up a little bit more before ultimately coming back down, giving a little bit more of a help towards some of the bulls that want to have hope right here. Now I wouldn't go long here, right? But you can see that's what they're trying to do. So we need to move in the next like 10-15 minutes, push it down, like a hard push down, like enough where it spooks out other investors. It's going to be kind of hard to see it. I don't know if it actually happened, but that's what we want to happen right here. Because usually we want the shorts to be like, I see there's an issue right here. You know, I want to come down here and knock it down. Maybe that's more market psychology than market technicals, though. You know what I mean? All right. Anything else popping over now? I don't. Have any of you guys watched Love Island USA? I haven't really checked it out here. Liquidation heat map. Yeah, there hasn't been too much stuff there. They were burning Waymos. I know, isn't that sucking? That sucks. The Waymos, apparently, so one of the ICE agents used a Waymo to get home, and so because of that, they're like, oh, Waymo supports ICE, you know. So they started calling Waymos to burn them and catch them on fire. Yeah, it's pretty stupid. It's pretty stupid. But yeah. It is what it is as far as the Waymos are concerned. Now you wanted to see the liquidation heat map. Maybe that's fine. Why does it always say that that's not the one? There we go. You can see some right there. Liquidation, it's only 30 million liquidation leverage right there. Not really a lot. 10 million, 30 million, 40 million. About 100 million right here if we manage to break out. There's not much support on the downside though. Why not that? 1 week. I hate how it doesn't let me drag it for some reason. Yeah, but it's all the way up here around like 110,000 bucks. About 400 bucks higher than where we are, maybe a little bit more than that. But they're about like 800 bucks higher than where we are right now. Yeah, but it doesn't seem like there's a crazy amount. Let me go over here to the 1 month chart, see if there's any like big block. Yeah, 111,000, a little bit here, a few hundred million. Nothing crazy. Just the whales don't seem that activated right now for massive shorts, right? Like back over here, we had some really strong levels, you know, for breaking down and having some really good moves. We're looking at a little bit, but really, if we break above 111,000, that seems where we're going to start to shoot up a little bit more here. Yeah, we're not having that big push down that I want. It's starting to curl. So if you're looking for a day trade on a long, forget about the red and green. This will be an opportunity just to do a quick in, out right up there. I don't think I'd want to do that though. Yeah, because if I did that, it'd probably take it away from my open position here. There we go. Push that back and excuse me. And let me make sure. Why did that beep? Let's see. Oh, okay, we're fine. Okay. Sorry, I had like a weird little notification. I was like, that's weird. There we are. Excuse me, guys. Ooh. Ooh, man, hurt my eyes. Not my eyes, excuse me, my ears. We can get a X for a little bit here. Let me just go over to CNBC one more time and make sure I didn't miss anything as far as news. China-US agreed to framework to implement Geneva trade consensus after second day of London talks. That's good. So we should have some good news from them tomorrow then. So the U.S. and China have reached a trade, a consensus on trade. Representatives from both sides have set up to higher level talks in London. So a framework, that's good. That means in a few months, we're probably gonna see Trump and Xi Jinping come together and have a big old ceremony and talk and stuff like that, which means as long as nothing bad happens, it may be actually a good opportunity to buy some Trump token, because when that announcement happens, you'll probably see Trump, you know, happy about it. Ooh, yeah, there's a good squeeze happening right here. Please let the squeeze go in the short's favor, though. That's what we want to see. They keep on pushing it down. It's only one guy pushing it down. You can, or maybe a couple, but it's not much happening here. We can still have the big purge, but what do we got? Like two? Okay, we got 2 minutes left. It still needs to be a. If it happens, you'll understand what I'm talking about. This is more of just like trading for so long, you just see this stuff happen over and over again, but you're not like 100% sure it's gonna happen, but like you know it when you see it. Uh-oh, you okay? You got the hiccups? Was your face in dirt? Yes, it was. Loki's doing blackface over here. I still don't like the way this is curling back up, though. That's just my thing. I don't like the way it's curling back up. You can see how there's higher lows being built, even if they're little teeny ones, right? We need to see, we're seeing a triangle happen right here. We need to squash it. And hey, Haram, how's the trading going? So far, it's okay, but I need to do longer term trades with you guys. I don't like the scalping as much. It's not as entertaining to me. But again, so long term trading or swing trading isn't that entertaining as well. But there's larger amounts of capital behind it, which is more entertaining. And then obviously it gives me more time to kind of do other stuff with you. So what I think I need to do is do a swing trade and a long trade here, and a day trade at the same time. So like I saw this trade this morning and I did it myself. So what if I opened up a swing trade at 11:45 in my time, and then at 4 o'clock I still had it open to talk about and see what's happening, close it, make some money and be done with it. And then like this turned red during the stream and I do a day trade during that, right? So I'm thinking of doing something like that in the future here, but I'll give it some time. I just want to see which way this thing breaks down here, because I have to use the bathroom really bad, but I don't want to leave you guys early until I see which way this breaks. So it's kind of a, is the chart gonna break or am I gonna break? That's the question. That's the question right now. But we're getting squeezed, so you can see that mini little pennant forming, and it's a tiny little thing, but it can be kind of fun to trade, especially if it's pretty close to our support level, right? But our price target is, this is the real trade, yeah. Our price target is right there. We're just waiting for the next leg down. That it pretty much closes out that next leg down. Take the profit and run. But like I said, I need to see like a long candle come down, like a long candle. We're not really seeing that happen yet. Like, what am I talking about? We're at a support level, but I want to break down below the support level quite quickly. The fact that we haven't just had these big bounces and stuff is good news for us over here. 11 seconds. Let's watch the chart in weeks and sweat together. Yeah, right. What I should do is move this over to this one so we can kind of watch it in real time. I know, my phone keeps on telling me to stand up. It's trying to. Let's see if this is the big one. We can also watch it on weeks like you were talking about. I should put it on full screen though. If I was streaming for a longer period of time, what I would have done is I would have made that price target a lot lower, but I think I'm fine for now. Part of me wants to try something though. Part of me wants to so I have two computers. One is kind of broken, but it still works if I don't fuck with the HDMI cords at all. I'm wondering if I should use my desk for upstairs, get the Wi-Fi plugged in, and then start a target hit type of stream where it's a 24-hour Bitcoin stream, and I do all the technical analysis. I do the buy signals and the sell signals like he does. And then sometimes I'm up there just chilling. I might have to use one of my old Elgato cam links for that. And then I kind of just chill, you know? And then I hop on that stream every now and again. Maybe you see Loki just walking around or something like that. And then I use this one just for the normal daily stream. So I have that 24/7 one there just in case Bitcoin's doing something crazy and it's not 4 o'clock. I can hop on there and start talking with you guys for a little bit, right? That could be interesting. But you can tell this is just a freaking slow move. Oh, wait a second. They're trying. I thought that might be the long one, but it doesn't seem to be. Oh, God. A mini liquidity trap is the stupidest thing in the world. So there is some support right there. Somebody has some support right there. Well, what are we on? We're at 6:52, which means we have 3 minutes left. 2 minutes and like something seconds left. So we still have an opportunity to push it down. Where we're at right now, that you definitely want to see it move in the next 2 candles here. Preferably 3, I guess. Yeah, preferably 3 candles. Oh, that's not good. It's already breaking above where it was before, yeah. Going into the new candle too. Okay, still a downtrend there, which is nice to see, but that little spike though, see, again, because I'm streaming, I'm over analyzing every single freaking minute ticker. Doesn't matter that much, but it, you know, I'm always thinking about like, oh, that's not good, that's good, that's not good. Maybe, yeah, I think it's just ADHD making me talk kind of funky. But you can see the little liquidity grab right there though. Spike back up after hitting a support level. There is a short-term wall there, or at level of support. I'd really want to see that support get really chewed out fast though. The fact that it's taking this long, it means that like both bulls and bears are annoyed at this moment, because we're just too choppy here. It's just too sideways before having that big squeeze, right? A few minutes ago you can see, you know, right towards the beginning of the chart, a lot more movements happening. Right now we're just bouncing off support, and the longer we're here, that's better and better for the bulls. And you can see the volume over here right now. It's been kind of meh. Oh, you can't see the volume because of my little ticker thing. Let me hide the ticker thing. See how we have this little volume spike right here? Now again, the volume spike doesn't mean necessarily we're going higher, but it usually means we're looking at a short-term little reversal here. This one didn't last too long. This one had like a few minutes of popping back up, right? So I don't like seeing that there. Hopefully we can have a sell-off to kind of make me a little bit more money. There you go. Choppiness like this is the worst for scalpers. Like I'd be like, okay, I'm taking my small little win and I'm going home. That's my mentality when I see stuff like this. Let me push the bed down a little bit more. Oh, and this weekend you can expect, I want to say, oh good, it turned a negative volume. That's awesome. Perfect. Somebody sold in the last few seconds. This weekend I'm going to make around 3 smart money concepts videos for you guys, so get ready for those. They'll be pushed out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of next week. I am taking Saturday off and Friday off, as you guys know, so I'll probably, from streaming, so I'll probably end up making the videos at that point in time. Do you accept tips? I followed your Ethereum advice, and while I don't have a full one, I'm close. Thank you. I'm buy and hold trader. Oh, no worries. I don't need a tip. You're perfectly fine. I'm doing well financially. Really, you know, if you want to tip me, toss it into a meme coin on Coinbase or Crypto.com, and then just let it sit and just wait and see what happens with it. Turn it into a gamble or put it into a dividend stock to kind of grow as you will. But yeah, I'm more of a don't worry about the tips. You're chill. You're chill. I just appreciate you being here watching and asking questions and saying hi to Loki and stuff like that. I love that type of stuff, right? I wish you guys could see how freaking filthy he is right now. He is dark. Hi. You wanna come say hi? Come on. Don't get a toy, just come say hi. He's like looking around for his toy. Come here, yeah, you're fine. Yep. Okay. You guys can't tell. My camera's not that good. But yeah, he's dirty. I gotta brush him. He is dirty. And you can see, we're still making lower lows here. It's just freaking the grind of it all. This is why I don't like scalping. Or actually, I don't mind it as much, but I'm looking for longer drops, right? So I wouldn't be even paying attention. I'd be playing a video game. I'd be making a video. I'd be doing something to keep my mind busy while all this was happening. So I wouldn't be watching it minute by minute by minute by minute by minute by minute by minute. It drives me absolutely, what's the term? Bonkers, crazy, wild, you know what I mean? But watching this closely, you can see that the bear is still there. He's still lurking. This is still a bearish trend here. But God, this is a decent level of support when it shouldn't be that strong of a level of support. That's probably where my mind is going right now. Just push it down, push it. How's the other trade we have open right now? So we have the futures, we have the demo trading one. This one we have to eyeball shut. That one's up $88 or about 4.5%. That's not bad. I mean, I guess we put a lot more money into it, right? 1 minute here. There we are. Okay, let me look around and see what else is happening on my screens here. Oh my God, the choppiness is gonna break back out. Have a mini change the character here and start going back up for the chop and grind down slowly. Yeah. Oh God. I also felt a lot better today because I didn't put out any videos, so I didn't put any any regular content for you guys. I'll do it tomorrow, but I gotta get ready for it. I think I'll put out some content tonight for you guys too, or I'll record some content for you guys tonight too. I'm most done about the trade talks between China and the USA, which will be some really good news. But okay, everybody, this trade is probably gonna work. It's just gonna take some time. I will not close it. I'll show you guys the trade tomorrow when we go over it and see if this is really the bottom right here and we went up higher, if we did kind of cruise down a little bit more. But I gotta go use the bathroom really bad, like really bad, because I've been outside with Loki all day and haven't had a chance to go, and I've been hydrating like crazy. I'm drinking basically 1.5 gallons of water a day plus. So I'll see you guys a little bit later. I appreciate you guys watching me, and because you're done, yeah, Lisa, thanks, I appreciate that.